Well, hello there, and welcome to my latest LOTRO stream. This time round, we're going to be looking at leveling a brand new Beorning, who is called Ezilv. I did the preview of her story in a YouTube video, but I thought it'd be fun to do a let's learn this stuff together kind of stream. Hi away Shellfade, thanks for joining. So I'm just going to ping that screenshot of her to Twitter, and then we can totally focus on stuff in game. So I am still new to Beornings. I have a level 15, 18, something like that I've been playing around with on one server, but this one's brand new, and to be fair, I'm still very much feeling my way with these things. Let me just ping that tweet out, and then I can focus. Ezilv. It's a new character, and I still manage to not always spell her name correctly. Oh, that's good to know, away Shellfade. It's always hard to know with something that's been around for quite a while whether people want to re-pick it up or have never picked it up. So I'll do what I can to... I'm going to go through everything that is the new abilities, how it works generally mechanics-wise, because I'm learning along with everyone else. So, Ezilv, and ping that tweet, and then let's get going. There we go, and I'll minimise the browser so I don't get distracted. Our volume levels seeming to be okay. My usual sound test first thing. Away Shellfade. Volume's great. Yay! Right. Hard to try all the classes. Yeah, and I've got close to trying all of them. I have a level 20-ish Runekeeper. So again, very new to that. I have too many characters, so I have been focusing on my Hunter and my Guardian, trying to at least make progress through content, but I always like to have some lower level ones for days when I want something a bit easier. Okay, so here's Ezilv. Now the starting point with a new character is what abilities have you got to hand. So for a start, the tree I am running on is the red tree, the Claw, which focuses on... oh look, I've got a point to spend. Focuses on your effect, how strong you are as a bear in bear form. So the hide is, I think is that the healer one? Oh no, that's the tank. So the hide is the tank form, and the roar is in a support role. So I'm going to go for my first point, and we'll deal with... you do have some options here when you're first starting out, so I start usually with the DPS stuff. So bear form here, add an extra %. Hi Lieber, morning, good morning to you. The first trait point I'm going to spend is on increasing damage at Thrash, which I will show you is one of the first abilities you get in bear form. There are some very useful self-healing abilities, so if you're more skilled than me and can in fact hit an enemy behind you in human form, you can get healed, and as we level a bit later we get a self-healing ability. So, what we've got available at the start here are the abilities you have in human form. So we've got a bog standard slash, and then we've got 2 attacks that deal varying amounts of damage, and then this one, yeah, can reduce your target's ability to resist your attacks. Now how it works mechanics wise with a Beorning is you have to build up Wrath, so whereas other classes you have a limited power source here, so power is a common one up here. For a Beorning you have to build this up to be able to use it. You can't just turn into bear form without becoming angry first, basically, which is fine. So once you transform into bear form, you lose some wrath just over time, and then the abilities you use once you are a bear also consume wrath. One of the useful things we've got already at the start here is a self-heal, which is Hearten, but as you can see that costs 10 wrath, and that's a heal over time ability, but it does cost you wrath, so effectively you can trigger it in man form, but only after you've built up wrath first, and all the aggressive abilities build a varying amount of wrath. So Slash here we've got adds 5, Slam adds 10, this one also adds 10, and you can have a maximum of 100. So what I'll do is I'll pick up some quests first, because I've literally just arrived in Archet here, and then we can get into change from human to bear. Now, Beorning takes medium armor, I believe, which makes sense. If you make medium armor, it's made from leathers. I will hopefully pick up a better weapon than this fairly soon, but you can dual wield. So I've got an axe and a knife here. My other Lobie Beorning I've been playing with has a humongous axe. Okay, let's pick up some quests, and then we can put some of this into action.
I must say, I never expected to see one of your kind in these parts.
How kind. Okay, you are of the line of Beorn, are you not? Your stature and demeanour seem unmistakable to me. I have never met any of your family until today, but I've heard tell of your people from rangers and other wild folk. You tell John Brackenbrook why you've come to Archet, and he nods. Yes, Aragorn was here, though he goes by the name of Strider in these parts. He left with some haste, but I heard from others he was loath to do so, and wished to stay and help with us with our troubles. He made for the town of Bree, unless I heard wrong. But stay, my tall friend. Do not hurry away just yet. You have come to us in our darkest hour, when Blackwall brigands have burned our town and slain many of our friends. Unlike other classes, this one, the Beorning had their own starting point, so you don't actually take Archet from being this wonderful, cosy village, and then it gets burned by Blackwall, so you come in after that has taken place as a Beorning. My own father perished in the night, struck down by the Blackwolds and their hateful allies from the north, from Angmar. I know you wish to seek out Aragorn, but if you truly share his ideals, you will spare a moment here and there to help people who need it. The experience will make you stronger, and together we may prevent other towns from being burned in the name of evil. Think on it, Azilv. Yeah, you got a milestone skill, so let's just bung this one in here. Where does that put me at the moment? Oh, it's already set. That's fine. Cool.
Might I take a moment of your time?
So now you have some very joyous... Because this place has been burned and they're basically in sorrow, some of the quests are not particularly positive. So this one's quite tough. So, I wish you'd been here, Azilv. We could have used your help during the Blackwolds attack. The battle was great, but in the end, we defeated the brigands' onslaught. Some of the good men who were lost still remain unburied, but the people of this town have their hands full with their own great losses. It would be to our shame if those unburned bodies were dishonoured by wild beasts. Will you do us this favour? Seek out those poor men and grant them the honour in death. Dirk Mugbridge fell at the sheep farm southwest of Archet. Nate Whisperwood died defending the Hunter's Lodge, and Cal Sprigley's farmhand Will Wheatley perished in battle to the south of Bronway's Folly. If you've never run a human or Beorning yourself through Archet, or if you've not got into the deeds in Bree-land, there are a couple of deed points in Archet itself, so we'll point those out as we kind of go through. And we have to do that burying of them, that's part of the epic line.
Might I take a moment of your time?
Ah, a fine day to you. It's good to see the backs of the Blackwolds broken and peace settling over Archet once more. Now we can concern ourselves with less dire problems. Actually, you might be able to help with one of these problems, if you're interested. There seems to be an illness spreading among the local boars, and a terrible affliction it must be, for the beasts are more hostile than normal. We must put an end to this illness, and the only way is to slay those afflicted. Would you do it? Yes, because then I can demonstrate wrath in action. Cool, okay. So, should we pick up another one? What's one up here? We'll come back to Outly Spiderbane, because I don't need to deal with spiders just yet. Coolio. So, let's head into Archet, outside of the town and into the countryside, which was spared most of the burning. So, we want boars from here. I keep forgetting how many notifications you get. So, initially you can't change into bear form, because you've got to build that up. So, let's... There we go, and I'll just show. Now built up 10 Wrath, you can then change into bear form, and what happens is your ability bars switch. So instead of having your human form ones here, I ran out of Wrath, so I changed back. But so that you don't put things in the wrong bar like I did with that essence healer there, you want your human form, or man form as it's still referred to, in this bar, in your main bar if you like, and all your bear form ones happen here. When you switch into bear form, to make it easy, your bear abilities move to your bottom bar. So I've just caught up with your message there, Away Shall Fade. Gets a level cap on all classes. Haha, yes, I'm not going to manage that on one of mine for at least a year and a half, I don't think. But that's my problem with having too many characters. So yeah, so those ability bars change. What I have done with this is I've put the skin change ability on a key that I will remember. So what it means is, when I built up Wrath, I can just hit, in my case, the equals sign and switch into bear form. It saves me clicking when I want to do that. So we want some more. What have we got here? We want 5 more bristle hides. So what I've done this time is I'm going to build up a whole bunch of Wrath and go find another bristle hide. Oh, that's a bear. I actually don't want to attack bears. There's a disease bristle hide, right? So now I have these 2 abilities in bear form that I can just go at this for like that. Your abilities as a bear are far more destructive than your abilities as a human, especially on the red line, from what I understand. So you do hit more get more DPS in by being in bear form, but it does take a bit to build up the necessary Wrath. It is by no means an elegant fighting form in either human or bear. That's a bear. I don't want to kill a bear. I've just made it a principle on my Beornings I am not killing bears. And if that means turning down quests and XP, then so be it. Now, because your Wrath dissipates over time, you do often auto-transform back into human form, as I insist on calling it. I know it's called the race of man, but she's a woman, or a female. How many more of those do we need? None, we've got them all. Right, let's find the people we have to bury. We missed one, of course. I shouldn't have called this... well, I wasn't planning on calling this Getting Lost Around Archet, but it shouldn't be possible to get lost around this village. However, I do sometimes take wrong turnings. So again, I'll just... because this one's nearby, I'll just kill this. Still got some Wrath. Change it to bear form, and... or not, decided not to. I hit the wrong key, did I? Right. We got any more bristle hinds I can catch before I run out of Wrath? No, I'm too late. This is the challenge I find with learning this class, is that you... yeah, they should be called humans. Totally agree with you there. I know it's appropriate to how Tolkien wrote stuff with calling it the race of man. So it's not technically sexist per se, but it should be called humans, I think, now. Especially as I run male and female characters. So we need to bury these dead bodies. Not the most elegant of tasks, but there is honour in not allowing wild animals, such as a Beorning in bear form, to find a fallen comrade. So... 2 more of these, and then we can head back in and pick up the next epic, hopefully. This is the challenge when you put a principle in place of, no, I'm not going to attack bears unless they attack me, is you try not to actually make them attack you. You try not to give them the opportunity to. I've only recently started to try and think through more carefully what my characters stand for, what's going through their heads. So I finally had a bit of a thought on my first fan fiction for LOTRO, which I've never done before, but it's nice to be able to think of something new. I'm going in the wrong direction. See, I should have called it Getting Lost Around Archet. Here we go. This one always gets a tweet when people come across it, thinking it's a famous actor. Right, and the next one's by the Hunting Lodge. Now, I will play this as a newbie would, because a LOTRO family member was so kind as to gift me Rohan, and I had already used treat money to get the apprentice riding trait. I technically have a horse, but I'll just play this as a newbie would, so that if completely new players to LOTRO stumble across this, that they... I'm playing it the way they would be playing it, so hopefully being consistent with that. I don't think there's a wolf slayer in Bree-land. Don't think. Forget quite how long some things take when you're not riding, but on the same time, there's no particular need to rush. Archet is lovely, and it's probably one of a few truly serene places before you end up hitting evil. Some parts of the Shire would classify. Someone once said that the Shire is such a huge starting area, and then I thought, but Bree-land has, what, the Old Forest, North and South Barrow Downs. Bree itself is enormous for navigating. You got Midgewater. Bree-land is so much bigger than the Shire if you're just starting out. So it's probably best they had given a little town like Archet. Okay, so we've got one more of these poor people to bury, and then we can move on. So this one's by the Hunting Lodge. Of course, why these people at the Hunting Lodge had also not buried them is a good question. Here we go. Cool. Right, so let's go back to Archet. What I'll do is, on the way, I'll take a cross-country route a little bit. I could take the back... No, I'll take the cross-country route and then we can kill a few things on the way through. Because half the fun of playing Beorning is not being in... And probably most of the fun of being Beorning is not playing in human form. So let's see. Oh, there is a spider slayer in Bree-land, so why not? Yeah, of course there aren't actually that many on this path. Let's see what we can find. I'm going to turn my music volume up. Shouldn't affect what level it's being broadcast at, I don't think. Oh, as just a fair warning to everybody, unlike previous streams, I'm not alone in the house, and my daughter is very poorly. So if she gets noisy, it's not her fault. It's just part of having a wee one in the house. I want to build up Wrath, but these animals are too far apart. There we go. Things die so much quicker when you're using your claws. So in Archet you can trigger a few deeds. There's quite a lot of spiders you can come across, so Spider Slayer gets triggered in Archet as well. So our quest givers are up here? Yes. Doubt I picked up anything of value. I'm gonna keep the light hides because once I get out of Archet and towards Bree, I'm gonna make her own armor out of the skins of her enemies. I think it said in the Beorning description that wolves are like the enemy of the Beornings. Yes, Lee, but I know you're new to this. The Beorning is a skin changer, and that means once they get angry or annoyed, they can turn into a bear. The equivalent in the Star Wars universe is a changeling. Right, cool, let's get turning these quests, and then we can move on.
What do you need?
Good, it is done. Those men died bravely and deserve proper burial. Archet is in your debt.
What do you need?
An urgent summons. The man who came through this village, he reminded me of the ranger you seek, the man called Strider. Said he was looking for heroes. I know little of you, but it appears to me that you have a heroic bent. I'm bent on being heroic. He said he would wait for any such heroes I might send his way at the Combe and Wattle Inn, where he will be waiting. The Combe and Wattle is in the centre of Combe to the south. He seemed most grim to me. I would travel to Combe immediately and speak with the innkeeper, Lisbeth Honeymead. She said she should know where you find this man. Well, I'm not going to leave Archet yet, because there are more quests to do around here. Yeah, my wife had this bug. Let me move this away from here, because it's getting in the way of the chat. My wife had this bug for a short while. I've had it, but I don't fight off illnesses that well. It's just part of the way my system doesn't work. So I've still got the low energy as a result of it, but NJ can't really process it. She doesn't understand. She just knows she's poorly, and she's sleeping a lot, which means she is ill, because normally she doesn't sleep.
What can I do for you?
Aha, you've taken care of the poor blighted creatures. Every boar that has caught that foul plague will in the end have to be destroyed, but the few you've dealt with will slow the spread of the plague. Thank you. Right, so I'm going to go for... Oh, what you can do with Beorning, as you can with a few classes, is you can equip a secondary weapon as a ranged one. I don't have a equivalent to the Guardian's Let Fly, where it will definitely always hit, but I have Control Z to be auto-attack, and so if you want to hit something from ranged, then you can use auto-attack to do that with a ranged weapon. I'm not going to pick up a bow just yet, but it is an option. But you are likely to miss earlier on, so I'm going to change from being dual wielding to have a great axe, which has a chance of lowering your opponent's armor, and I just like these big weapons. I've changed most of my hunters to have spears and bows instead of swords and bows as well. There's just something about having the humongous weapon that I like. Yeah, thanks away shall fade. It's persistent, let's say. Okay, no trait point that level. What quests have spawned since? There's one up here, and then we'll go to Outly Spiderbane as well and pick up his, because there's no need to rush through content, especially when you're picking up a new class. You want to take your time. So we've already triggered the bree-land Adventurer, because any non-epic quests you do in Bree-land counts towards bree-land Adventurer deed.
Hello, friend. Could you help me with something?
Working with wood has always been my trade, so I thought to put my hand to the rebuilding of Archet. I've loaded up my tools and set out, when suddenly this mad boar came out of nowhere and overturned my cart. It was all my son Borin and I could do to make it here to Archet, and we had to leave the tools of the wreckage of the cart. If you head south to the gate that leads to Combe, you might well be able to recover my toolbox. I would really appreciate it, and the folks of Archet are sure to be better for it as well. The sooner I can get started, the sooner this town will be back to the way it was. I kind of wish they would return Archet to the way it was at some point over time, or when you finish doing stuff here, that it would recover, but that takes a lot of work software sides, I know. But it's just one of those things. It's nice to have a vision of what would be great. Yes, Lieber, deeds are the equivalent of achievements in Star Wars The Old Republic. The main difference is all deeds, pretty much, at least 90% of deeds, give you LOTRO points that you can spend in the LOTRO store. They also give you updates to stats that you can add to your character later, and reputation, which is reputation in Star Wars: The Old Republic as well, with the local faction or people group. So we're gonna look for a mad boar, and let's find Altly Spiderbane as well. Yeah, it would be lovely if you could see Archet rebuilt. You know, some more dynamic areas. I think some of the battles later on, other players have talked about. You have like a pre-battle and post-battle. I don't see why you couldn't have Archet like this, and then go through another instance and see it. Even if it's just partly restored, it would make you feel like the people were recovering rather than left in this permanent state of desolation. Because it felt before it gets burnt, Archet feels like a mini Bree. It's lovely. It's such a lovely place.
Come and stay a moment.
Don't worry about me, Ezilv. It's a random dwarf. He's the only dwarf around here, I think. It's just a minor wound I got in the fighting. Now that the Brackenbrooks, father and son, have driven the Blackwolds away from Archet, perhaps these folk can get back to living their lives the way they once did. Word has received me that there's a new threat to be dealt with. A nearby farm has been overrun with spiders, and the folk there have retreated to Archet. My injury prevents me from dealing with the pests, but you have proven yourself a capable warrior, and should have no trouble. Look for the farmer here in Archet. You may know him already. His name is Cal Sprigley. Yes, we have probably spoken to him at... So what is this new threat? It's spiders. They're everywhere in Lord of the Rings. There we were, ready to stand our ground against them Blackwald villains, when these monstrous spiders came pouring up from the cellar in the middle of the night. It seems hardly fair. Still, if the Spiderbane sent you, it could be you're able to help us out. Our farm is due south of Bronway's Folly. If you can recover my seed bag from the pens and my strongbox from the storage shed, we could make a new start of it. Oh, and my father's bow as well. Just making you go and fetch all this stuff. Poor Henry was trying to kill some of the spiders with it. He was a good hand, but the spiders made quick work of the lad. Hurry back if you can, though with all the spiders on my farm, I don't see how you will. You can't blame the people of Archet when they live with this now for having a more pessimistic stance on things, let's say. I bet it does away shall fade. I mean, the first time I did Archet, it was really gutting to see it decimated the way it is. I think my first character was an elf. Yes, my first character was an elf. In fact, half my characters are elves. And I really love Salondim and Duyond and that area, and definitely once I managed to make it to Rivendell, it was lovely. Although one of my elves is only just about to get to Rivendell. But yeah, Archet is just I don't know, it's a lovely starting area. And the people just want the best for the town. It's not even that big a town. You almost wonder why the enemy even bothered paying it attention. So there are two things we want to do. We're going to go find this mad boar by the gate here, and we want to deal with some spiders in the farm in the south. We'll pick this one up. I think this is just the introduction to crafting,
Hello,
which
friend.
for the
Could you help me with
uninitiated.
something?
So for the people that have come from other games, I will actually run through the crafting stuff if I manage to make it through that far tonight. This is the intro quest. I look at you, Ezilv, and I see a blank canvas, uncarved block of wood, an untempered blade. He really knows how to pay a lady attention, doesn't he? So many compliments. Any number of things that have potential for greatness, but are still waiting for that potential to be realised. I look around at my home and I see wreckage, a memory of the comfort this town once had. It can have that peace and comfort again, Ezilv, if those like you will rise to the challenge. He's such a salesperson. Skilled hands must be kept busy if they are to improve their craft. My brother Roderick stands near the craft hall in Combe, south of Archet. From the Combe town centre, take the left path as it climbs up the hill. You'll see my brother part way up the hill. Tell him that you wish to learn a crafter's vocation. The towns of Bree-land can only benefit from the application of your skill. The perfect salesperson. Yeah, totally dramatic salesperson. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, I've got boars to kill. We'll come back to crafting later. For people like you, Liba, as well, crafting in Lord of the Rings is something you do. As in, it is something you proactively put time aside to do. That's the time I get food to eat or a new drink, and just chill for a bit. You don't send... in Star Wars: The Old Republic, you send your companions away to do the crafting. In Lord of the Rings, you do it. It's something you develop yourself. Let's kill a few normal boars at the way through, because I'd like to be a bit higher up before I end up leaving. I need to move the healing ability around, because I think I keep catching that. So let's move that to 7, so it's something I purposefully trigger. So I try to use it with other classes as well, so I'm going to put my aggressive skills here, and the healing ones here. On my DPS Minstrel, I actually have the healing abilities up here, but because Beorning changes, and you end up with the second row down here, once you're in bear form, I can't really do that here. With every other class, I can kill, there's a bear there, that'll help me level up. As a Beorning, I'm like, I can wait to level, it's fine, I'm not going to kill my cousins. Yeah, I mean, initially, Liebe, when I played LOTRO, I was like, not many cutscenes. But then actually, taking time to read something and not being fed to you is actually quite nice. I think later on, the cutscenes improve. So when I got a character to Angmar, the cutscenes that happen around there are much better. So there are longer cutscenes later. Oh look, here's the... Now, because this is a decent HP, I can actually... It's worthwhile changing into bear form. There we go. And because we weren't just here to kill the boar, we were actually here to pick up the supplies and the cart. Yeah, so you don't have the same number of cutscenes in Lord of the Rings. On the one hand, that's good because you have to take time to immerse yourself in it, and I love immersing myself in the worlds of Lord of the Rings. On the other hand, it can be harder to get to know your characters. At least that's the way I found it. Because you don't hear your characters' voices the same as you do in the Old Republic. That's why it's taken me a while to work out how to role-play my characters, how to get into their heads, because you don't really, in one sense. But I am going to try and do a little bit of fanfiction, at least, to... One of the best things about bears, by the way, is you get your tattoo on the face of your bear, which matches the tattoo on your actual face. It's a lovely touch. Very guilty of using the spacebar to... Oh, you totally shouldn't skip cutscenes, even if you've seen them billions of times. Sometimes you accidentally catch an expression you haven't seen before. Oh yes, wolves are the enemy of the Beorning, so I may as well kill a few of these on the way to the farm. There's no reason not to, really, is there? Right. We will have to kill a few more spiders anyway. I'll make sure to catch the deed items. There are 2 in Archet. I can grab one on the way up here, because that's one of the locations you need to scout for one of the Bree deeds, Bronway's Folly. Who am I here to see? Threat from spiders. I need to collect a seed bag, a strongbox, and a bow. Oh, hello. Oh, this was the poor farmhand who's like, he was a good hand, but spiders made quick work of him. Not, he was such a good hand that I, did my best to save him. No. Each their own. Right, built up a bit of wrath. Let's grab a few more spiders on the way through then. Thankfully, the abilities of Beorning do slowly add themselves over time, so you haven't got to deal with too much any one time with your new Beorning. So I've only got 2 bear form abilities at the moment. I'm just wandering aimlessly and just happen to stumble across the things that I'm looking for. So there's the seed bag. And we're looking for a strong box. No, sometimes they appear more precisely on the map, but we need to just use our eyes. Where do we think the strong box is? It's been a while since I did Archet. Oh look, there it is. You can just about see it glowing. The only thing I found that forces you is being on stream and showing the story. Yeah, you can't skip somebody else's cut stream, and if you are streaming, you definitely don't want to deprive your viewers of that time either. What I found with this when I do stream the Old Republic is that it gives you a bit of rest on hands and on commentary. So I do end up slightly more tired doing a Lord of the Rings stream because of the reading the quest giver's text. But on the other hand, I quite like it because sometimes when you read things in your mind, you don't notice some of the things that you do when you speak things out loud. You take your time to read it, so some of the intonations, some of the inferences made, when you read them, you pick them up better reading them out loud. At least that's the way it works for me. Obviously I can't apply that to anyone else, but there we go. So that's why I came up to Bronway's Folly. It picks up another deed, and there are loads of deeds in Bree-land. So this one triggers finding 10 ruins in Bree-land. And Blackwold's Roost is here. I will pick up Blackwold's Roost if the quest line here doesn't take me there anyway. I can't remember whether it does. It might do, but I can't remember. Right, I don't want to attack bears. So are both these in... Oh, I'm being attacked. Where are you? Hello, hello, rude. Go away. Ah, yes, I remember seeing that you'd been co-invited to stream, and that's quite neat. I'm trying to work with my guild in the Old Republic to see if... Well, they suggested it. We're trying to organise an op, and I don't do many ops. That, for anyone who doesn't play the Old Republic, ops is a raid in LOTRO terms. Am I walking the wrong way? No, I was right. It just feels a long way. Right, okay. Now, the benefit when you haven't crafted yet, if you are going to go into Explorer that can make medium and light armor, is that most of the creatures around Archet produce light hides. Which you'll need for early Explorer recipes. Anyone who is a crossover player or is considering LOTRO or the Old Republic for that matter, I did a couple of blog posts comparing the two. So in one I said what the strengths of one were compared to the other one, and then I just vice versa'd it, so it was balanced. Each game has its own strengths. Like I love the worlds of LOTRO, and the dynamic weather and the dynamic daytime nighttime, for example, is one of the things I love. There's a lot I love about both games, to be honest. Right, let's turn this one in and see where the quests go. You have my thanks, Azilv. Now Borin and I can get to work rebuilding this town. Take these coins for your troubles.
Will you give me a moment of your time, friend?
Supplies here in Archet are limited, and will certainly not suffice to repair the damage wrought upon the village. Now that I have my tools, I will be able to begin shoring the fences and repairing the buildings where I can. Archet will need more lumber if it's to recover completely from this attack. If you find yourself in Combe to the south, seek out Taylor Green and let him know that I will need another order of wood from the lumberyard. If you've not been there before, listen well. The Combe lumberyard can be found by following the road south. Pass through the gate towards Combe and follow the road east up the hill. It will bend softly to the northeast towards Chetwood. There, in a soft dip before North Chetwood, you should find Taylor Green. Or to someone like me that gets lost anywhere, look at the map. And even then, I may possibly still get lost. I'm just going to trash... Just started a champion dwarf. Any tips? My first thing is try both dual wielding and single wielding, because you can have a great axe or great sword, or you can wield two single-handed weapons. I find both can be quite handy, but find out which one fits you better. And read the descriptions of your abilities, because you've got to build up, now what's it called? Fervor? I think you have to build up fervor as a champion. Make sure you know which abilities add fervor and which ones take them away. So as I have here with Beorning, I need to build up wrath. You as a champion have to build up fervor, so that you don't run out of it. Fervor is the thing you've got to make sure you've got enough of. Thanks, Lieber. Oh, that does make me feel slightly better. Right, I'm just going to trash a whole load of stuff. I'll keep the rations, but I doubt I'll end up using them, but I'll keep them for now. Won't bother with. And I'm going to keep my great axe instead of dual wielding. You're welcome. My champion's only level 20 something, and the last 2 levels were because I crafted. So have a look as well to see what crafting things you already do on other characters. If you haven't got any other characters, then normally I would choose Metalsmith for armor, or Weaponsmith for the metal weapons that you need as a champion. But usually, depending on how many characters you've got, for newer players, I'd say you want to be able to make as many things as possible for you. So that would be usually what makes your armor for a metalsmith, which is what you need as a champion, or jeweler to make the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 jewelry slots. So you want to go for as many slots as possible if you're self-crafting. I mean, I'm still very new to champion. I mean, I just recently tried changing how I did Guardian based on advice someone gave me. So I don't know if those tips were helpful for you. I suspect you've got enough characters to craft everything already. Away shall fade. I'm not sure whether that applies to Zuther. But fervor is your problematic resource. It's your limited resource that you have to manage carefully, as you have to with Wrath here, or focus on the hunter. The other thing with champion is you do have power to manage, so you want to have a look at what restores power. You're not too bad in the early stages, but later on I found power is harder to manage when you have groups of mobs. So with champion you have power to manage, whereas at least with Beorning I only have the one resource to worry about. So champions, you've got your fervor, which is around here, and you've got your power to watch. Say early levels of champion, I don't think it matters, but once you end up, if you're on a dwarf, once you end up in, say, the barrows in Bree-land, where you're fighting more than one thing, you want to look at what abilities, what trait points restore power. And if you don't have those, then you want to have a look at some power restoring trail foods. Champions are very durable, so I haven't found health to be a massive issue on my champion yet. Power, however, is a problem.
What can I do for you?
This is after killing a load of spiders and retrieving things. This is everything we asked for, alright? My seed bag, strongbox, and my father's trusty bow. I can't thank you enough, Azilv, and I must beg your pardon for treating you so poorly earlier. Had I known what was to become of my farm, I would have heeded your advice and retreated to Archet at once, saving ourselves a great deal of trouble. And poor Henry his life. Yes. Still, I am glad we can make a new start. Tell the Spiderbane he has my thanks as well for sending you to us.
Could I speak with you?
Spiderbane does whatever a Spiderbane does. Them spiders. Is that a typo? Them spiders have ate my work hands. I hope that's a typo. And driven me and Holly out of our homes. I never noticed that before, and I've done Archet a few times. There's got to be some way to get them off our land. Get off my land! I would think that Altley Spiderbane might know more about the spiders than I do. Perhaps you can go speak with him again. We can't return home till those awful things are gone. There are a lot of spiders. You can actually deal mostly with the Spider Slayer deed well before you have to deal with the really tough spiders in the barrows. There's a lot more between Archet and Bree that you can pick off.
What do you need?
Good, you have returned. It seems there is much more going on here than I first thought. While you were away, my cousin Bally arrived, and I sent him to search some caves in the ruins outside the east wall of Archet. A few of the hunters have dropped a huge stone in front of the cave, and I wanted him to ensure the stones remained. He has not yet returned, and I am worried. Now, from what you've told me of Spriggly's troubles, the spiders came up through the cellar in his shed. Perhaps seeing the cave blocked off, they tunnelled up through there. Ah, yes. Yes. Lovely. I remember that spider. We'll spot that spider soon. So, we need to go to... For the spiders, we've got here. And the prologue quest. Where is that? Oh, that's no, we haven't. That's okay. That's down in Combe. So we'll just deal with spiders because the other two are in Combe. Now you can go out of Archet this way. So let's take the quicker route rather than walking all the way around. This is something I've tried to think about more since streaming because it doesn't matter if you get totally lost on your own. You can just wander around, take screenshots, whatever. But you came to see a bear. You didn't come to see me get lost around a very tiny village, right? It's not worth. It really isn't worth changing to bear form around the 20 Wrath mark if you want to kill a decent amount. So let's. There we go. 57. That's great. Right, let's just go on a spider killing spree as we get towards where the quest is. See how much more powerful your abilities are even at this level. And on spiders that are only one level below me. Can we kill that one before it? No, I don't have any Wrath even for the basic ability. It's okay if I get lost on the stream. It is, but then I have to use my brain a bit more to think, right, what do I talk about? Apart from, oh no, I've got lost. Again! Right, so... Speaking of which, am I even going in the right direction? Yes, okay, so I think there's a cave. Yes, here's the... We don't go into that cave just yet, but here is Port Valley. Oh, just wait for him to kill before I can read this. I guess he's a guardian, how long that took. Yep, right. You search Barley's corpse and find a journal with several pages missing. The journal text reads, I would not have believed it, but the spiders have pushed the cave mouth clear. I have entered the cave and the spiders reacted to me instantly, as if drawn to me. I am unsure why. I spent my day carefully searching near the entrance only, and found several corpses bound into cocoons. These spiders seem to wrap everything up in their cocoons. I will write more tomorrow when I go further into the cave. Perhaps it would be best to enter the cave to see if you can find the rest of the journal pages before returning to Attley. Okay, so, let's go into... It is. I had to build up, Zutha, I had to build up enough LOTRO points for it, but it's well worth it. In fact, I'm more happy I spent the money on Beorning. I will play my Beornings more than I'll play my Runekeeper, I think. I enjoy them both, but both require unlocking using LOTRO points. But I'm finding this a lot more fun. So we need to search cocoons. Excuse me if I keep itching my nose. I'm still fighting a stupid cold. I think wife's going to go out to the supermarket and pick up some cold remedies, so said she can bring one of those in when she comes back through. On the last stream, she tried to sneak under the camera to bring something in, or to fetch something out of the room. I was like, you don't have to do that. You know, they know you exist, it's fine. Right, I'm searching for cocoons. It is a very fun class, Away Shall Fade. Liba, what I find with playing two games is that I enjoy the variety between them. I was trying to explain this to somebody else on Twitter recently, and they're similar enough in the functionality, as in, like, it's got quick bars and things, so which is exactly how Star Wars: Old Republic works, but it's different enough so it gives me variety. Didn't have enough Wrath for that spider. Wasn't expecting that spider to appear. Yep, that's what I said to them. Away Shall Fade. That is exactly what I said to her. If anything, it proves when I'm talking about a wife on Twitter that I'm not just making this lady up in my life to, you know, sound less alone. Trust me. Oh, flip. Oh, I haven't turned off. One thing I need to turn off is combat music. Let me turn that option off. I keep forgetting. Disable combat music. I don't like the combat music thing. It adds to the tension that I get inside me. So I don't mind seeing my sword flash to say there's something nearby. The sudden unsheathing of the weapon is kind of a bit of a giveaway as well. Now, I'm not actually just here to kill spiders, although it is helpful for the deed. 5 more and I've got the first deed there. I'm actually looking for cocoons, and I'm managing to not find them. Oh, just die, spider. Thank you. Right, do us all a favour. So I still need 3 more cocoons. Can never tell which of these... Later on, you end up with webs that you can't go through, and I can't always tell which ones are blocked and which aren't. Could be making NJ up though. If NJ cries later, you'll all know about it. She's really poorly. And trust me, if I'd wanted to make up having a child, I would have made it up much sooner, rather than waiting 10 years of being married to suddenly decide, oh I know, I'll pretend I'll have a daughter. Because that's what every rational human being does. I'm getting distracted from killing a spider. Let's just... I've got some Wrath for healing, so let's use that. The self-heal, I'm finding, is it means you can endure a lot of punishment. And it's really good. I mean, that's 100 or so plus, maybe, of healing over time. So there we go. For people who don't play LOTRO or are just getting into it, deeds are good for generating LOTRO points. So I've got 5 for that level. But each of the Slayer deeds killing a certain number of things has an advanced version, and that gives 10. So you get 15 for killing a certain number of creatures. It also gives me a title if I want to use Spider Foe. I'm gonna wait until I can pick up one to do with wolves later, because of wolves being the enemy of the Beornings. Right, I still want 2 more cocoons. I'm trying. At least my meds are working. Sometimes when I end up with a lot more pain, I get even more weird in my sense of humour. But hey, yeah, earning money through the game is great. I mean, until people suddenly got massively generous and humblingly so, actually, with, well, giving me VIP for a start. Whoops, didn't mean to fall. And Rohan. I had unlocked all of Eriador, apart from Moria, using deeds. Now, I'm not a fan of grinding content, so I don't, basically, in short. So I didn't create characters that were purposely designed as throwaways. Or, let me rephrase that, I thought I was creating characters that were going to be throwaways, only to enjoy playing them too much. So I kept them. Oh, it's not just me. That's very true, Lieber. But I'd have to be a very consistent liar to make, and also a very strange liar who makes up having a child. At least I can't imagine why you'd make up having a child. If you're gonna make up having a child, they've got to be, you know, like the perfect child. You know, they never do anything wrong. They sleep. They eat all their food first time. You know, they've got to be the child every other parent wishes they had. Good to know it's not just me. Away shall fade, thanks. Where's this? Ah, there's a cocoon. I was like, I'm sure I'm missing a cocoon here. Ah, darn it. Ran out of wrath. We haven't got any more abilities since going to level 9, which makes things simpler. And there's a cocoon. Now we have the joyous task of trying to get out of here. Now the out is not going to be down that passage because I've not mapped there yet, so... There's something... what's the word I'm looking for? Therapeutic about the fighting style of the Beorning. It's like pure aggression. Take out your anger on whatever crosses your path. That's where the champion's fighting style is at least... more elegant, especially dual wielding. So I've dual wield axes. I was swords, and then I realised actually axes suit dwarves better because my champion is also a dwarf. And some of the shouts and cries, it's like the dwarf has a particular joy about killing things as a champion. I only have the one dwarf, so I don't know if the same joy applies in other classes. Let's build a bit more rough and we can take out all the other spiders in our way between here and Archet. Right, go. And that's why I pin that to the same ability key. It's always good when you have... when there are certain things that you've got to use all the time to make sure you know which key they are attached to. I'd also say where there's abilities that are similar between classes. So one, for example, I always have is... did that without enough wrath. If you're being controlled and you need to break free of that control, so I always have that attached to this slot, which is the dash key. It just means, and that applies in both my games, so if I've got a control I need to break free from and that break free ability is not on cooldown, then I can just hit that and it's fine. It's always, if you can, to get consistent key bindings. Now, I am too early on to worry about adding... for keeping any of the trash here for handing in for reputation. You can gain the vast majority of your Bree rep, A through deeds, B through quests, and C through doing everything in the Barrow Downs, because you get consumable reputation items like crazy in some of the barrows. If someone did that, I think they'd end up being committed. If it made the child a pain, then it'd be harder to unravel the lies. You're just making it more and more likely that I've made up this child.
Well met.
I cannot believe it! Bally gone. He must be avenged! And this journal tells me what is behind this. A spider queen from the Blue Mountains. Thanks for following, Zetha. No worries, away shall fade. Thanks for popping in. I will be around for a couple of hours, barring a couple of breaks here or there, but thanks for dropping in straight away. I'll see you in a bit later. She and her brood must have followed me from Thorin's Hall. Know this, even if I am slain, she will never leave this place. She has found easy prey here. We must destroy her, or Archet shall become a new abode for the queen and her spawn. So we can take medium armor, but I've already got better armor equipped, so what I'd normally do... See you later, away shall fade. For the... what if you don't need any of the items because you've got better items already equipped, what I generally do is just go for the most... because it tells you what worth they are when you trade them in for scrap, so always go for the highest value there,
Won't you lend me an ear?
so that you get maximum coin for your scrap item. No, I know, Libra, I'm just jesting, it's fine. This spider queen, Eornith by name, and her ways are known to me. She will have hidden herself in Sprigley's house and blocked all the entrances save one. If you search the tunnels below the house, I would wager you will find a hidden passage leading to the Eornith's lair. The vile thing must be slain, or Archet will be overrun by her brood. Would that I were hale and could heft an axe, but that time has passed. Now the mantle of Spider-Mane must pass to you if you'll have it. I wish you well in facing her. Right, so let's get rid of this trash. Oh, the days when you only use 13 slots out of 75 in your inventory.
Greetings, friend.
Given that my highest one regularly runs as 60 plus items in inventory. So, so we don't actually... We can either go through there, or we can go directly to Sprigley's. Now, I can't remember the route taking... should I try it? Which way should I go? Let's go through the tunnels we just went in, because Spider-Bane said that one of them... She'd have blocked them all off bar one, and I can't remember which one has been blocked off. But the map has rings in both this location here and down in Sprigley's farm, so we may be able to get there through both. So let's go to the nearest one first. That might be simpler. Right, now to make this easy, I'll only kill the things that are definitely aggressive, which are The ones that are red on the map. Right. Oh, walking the wrong way. Try again. Icky. Spider goo. Right. Yeah, mine can get very strange. Either the tireder I get, sometimes the more pain I'm in also tends to trigger off a weird sense of humour. That one's going to attack me if I don't do it first. It's not worth going into bear form till I'm in the tunnels, realistically. Because there's more of them. Yeah, so sometimes the more pain I'm in, the weirder my sense of humour gets. Now then, where do we think? I think because we haven't been down here, that the entrance to the farm is going to be down here somewhere. So, I'll manage to retain some wrath, but it'll have gone by the time I actually get here. Right. If I can kill one more and in human form, then I can switch to bear and basically run riot. Which I want to do anyway, because I'm being attacked by multiple spiders. Bear form. Right, so which way haven't we gone? This way, let's try this way. Ah, I've run out of wrath. Not good. I'm going to use my self-heal here. Uses wrath, but I need the healing. It really isn't elegant, but it is wonderfully aggressive. Right, and I built up 38 wrath just doing that, so let's kill a few more of these. Ah, attracted the spider's attention without any wrath. Let's see. Weird senses of humour are fun, not saying that I want you in heaps of pain. It's not always when I'm in pain. It seems to come out more then or being absolutely shattered. So more saying at my pain management program that often those who struggle the most with health things are the ones that have the best sense of humour in one sense, because they need to cope. They need to cope, or they want to do nice things for other people. And so a sense of humour can do that. Haha, is this where we're looking for? I think it might be. And I need... Oh, stuff it, I'm just going to go into bear form. This is just too many spiders. I don't like spiders in real life, so... There we go. Minimal damage taken there in bear form. Oh, not quite enough wrath to self-heal. But we are now in the cellar of the farm, so we should be able to find the Spider Queen. If another player hasn't killed it and I've got to wait for it to respawn, of course. I'd like to pick off a normal spider before the Spider Queen, so I have some wrath in me, in my bank straight off. And is that our Spider Queen? It is, right, here we go. Now I should have really triggered the self-heal straight away, but I'm going to kill this thing without too much hassle. Because you can't trigger the self-healing in bear form, as far as I can tell. I need to double check that when the ability bars switch again. But there's no harm in building up wrath using your aggressive abilities here, triggering your self-heal to go into bear form, but just bear in mind it does cost 10 wrath to do that, but it will make you more durable. Now if you do this quest, if I remember right, you don't have to go all the way back out. I thought there was a roof exit somewhere. I thought you could exit back to Sprigley's farm to save you going through the... Let's see if I can find the door. I thought there was an exit around here for that saved you having to go back through all the tunnels again. I could be wrong. Yeah, must be. I thought that you didn't have to do that. Hey ho, it's an excuse to slaughter more spiders. So, yeah, that's fine. How many more do we need for the deed? So... Not that many. 24 more spiders. Do the mini ones count? Bit harsh if they do. They shouldn't. Right, so let's get back out these caves then. It looks like we're going to have to go the long way. I thought you could exit out, but... Observation skills are not my strongest point. And I'm going to lose Wrath before I get to the next spider, aren't I? So I may as well just exit bear form and return to human form. So, up here and on the left, build a bit more Wrath, and then I should just be able to sort of slash my way pretty much to the exit. We're still only at level 9, got 2 bear abilities here, but for the content at this level, you don't really need, excuse me, many more than that. Oh, I'm being attacked. Where are you, spider? There you are. And I'm out of Wrath. There we go. I was unprepared. That's the challenge, I think, with this class is, have you got enough Wrath? And are you durable enough in human form to build up that Wrath that you might need in bear form? The medium armor helps, as does a good weapon. You got to be very patient in the build-up of Wrath. Also, it seems in human form, because it does take time. Other DPS classes, of course, are quicker, but it's not about speed. This class, it's about what can you achieve in either of your forms. And I think the best thing to do with Beorning is to be the most frightful and strong and have the best DPS in bear form. That's what we're here for, of course. Okay, just got a whole load of trash, so that's fine.
What can I do for you?
Here's some repairs. Trash that lot. I'm not used to my bar here disappearing. I'm just going to stop it from doing that. Excuse me. There we go. Is it faster travelling in bear form than human? It feels it. I haven't measured that actually. That's an interesting question. I mean, you can get... don't know whether I've got any in here yet. No, not yet. You can get consumable items that temporarily increase your speed, and because one of my other characters makes jewellery, which is the opposite side of armour, so here you got your armour side, this side, and this side is jewellery. You can sometimes craft jewellery that increases your movement speed. So I've got this one to equip when I hit level 10 that improves my out of combat run-back speed by 8%. It's worth having. There are other classes that have inbuilt speed run boosts, but not many, as far as I can tell.
What do you want?
Many seeds did the dread weaver sow throughout our mountains. Is he trying to write a poem to me? Because of you, another of those seeds has passed from this world. I owe you a great debt for Iornath's death and for my life. Accept this reward, and with it, the friendship of Atli Spiderbane. So, oh yeah, piece of armor we can use. Now, because in my perspective, the armor at lower levels doesn't look that great, what I've done is I've made one of my cosmetic outfits the original Beorning outfit, and later I will try to work on an actual appearance for her. In fact, actually, my plan after this stream is to go straight to Fall Fest and get some of the cosmetics from that. I found if you got Farmer's Fair gear, some of that rugged cloth looks really good on Beornings. You have much darker skin, and I think there's a cloak I want from Fall Fest. I think it's like Gown of the Boar, but it's made of fur. So it's trying to I'm trying to find fur-esque armor or fur-esque cosmetic gear that isn't related to bears, so you're not clothing yourself in your kin. At least trying not to. Right, so that means now I think we are done with Archet. I think we can now leave. That's not bad going. So we'll leave this poor village. Now I will use my horse for this, else it's going to be a long walk to Combe. Now is it just these two quests we've got going on here? Oh, we've got the crafting one to do at Combe as well. Okay, that's fine. So the way crafting works in LOTRO is you gather materials either from nodes on the landscape, depending on what your choice of crafting is, and from creatures where that's applicable. So if I want to make medium armor, which is typically made of leathers and skins, creatures like bears, wolves, boars, etc. yield different levels of hide. So what I've done is I've got some medium hides here sent from one of my other characters, but the first level you're dealing with light hides. You then have to tan those hides, and then you can turn them into armor. So, but it is something you proactively do in LOTRO, which initially I was like, really? You have to do your own crafting? Not when I first came across it. And now it's, oh, I get a break from clicking things, I can craft. So, I'm going to unlock the stable here.
What do you need?
And change my milestone, which for you, Lieber, especially, is like your own personalised quick travel point. You can't just quick travel anywhere you want in Middle-earth. Technology isn't that well developed. Right, so we've got a few more quests we can pick up here. Let's come back to the crafting, which is here. Let's see what quests we've got to pick up around here.
I'm sorry to trouble you, but will you help me?
I haven't had any word of my son Koval since this brigand nonsense began. I'm mightily scared that he's got caught up in some trouble. We lived in Archet till recently, but we had an argument. I'm sure you know how boys are. How would I know that? And Koval left all in a huff. He said he would make his own way down in Combe, and that's the last I heard of him. Now that I've come to Combe, I hear that he's gone east. If you don't mind, could you talk to Constable Wren for me? She watches the road east to Combe, and maybe she sees Koval. So, we can do that. What? Who else is around here? Got Gale Catchpole.
Something for me?
Another chat with Constable Wren. It's worth doing nearly all quests in Lord of the Rings, at least until you've got all the maximum gear that you can out of an area. And also, because you want reputation with the local area, all the deeds, including how many quests have you completed in an area, all count towards your reputation. So like completing that one gives you 300. When we kill 16 more spiders, we gain 700 reputation, for example. And different rewards unlock at different levels from the reputation vendor. I'm sorry, my mind is miles away. I didn't see you there. Did you help fight off the brigands? My dad did. He... Gale chokes back a sob. During the Blackwolds raid on Archet, someone broke into our house and stole many of our things. I don't care about most of them, but they took my dad's favourite fishing pole. I don't care if I get anything else back, but he wouldn't have wanted some filthy brigand to have it. Now that I've moved here to Combe, I've been meaning to ask Constable Wren if she could track down that fishing pole for me. Could you ask her if she has any idea where it might have been taken? She'll likely be at the guardhouse at the hill of Combe. That poor Constable Wren is like the local tour guide, isn't she? Now, I've just remembered something. I've just remembered that I forgot something, if that makes any sense. There are a couple of things in Archet that if you want to trigger a deed, you can. So I will take the horse. It makes it easier. So we found Bronway's Folly. The next thing is Blackwall's Roost, which means I'll have to kill some brigands, which is fine because killing brigands is also another deed. But inside Blackwall's Roost there is actually a usable item that triggers an exploration deed. So some of the deeds in... I'm being attacked. Some of the deeds in LOTRO are about what you kill or how many, and some of them are go find these places, explore Middle-earth. The nearest you got in the Old Republic is map all areas of X planet. But that's, I don't know. I don't enjoy those as much. These have points of interest in them, basically. So we unlock one like points of history, things that mean something to the local area. I was going to take my horse, then I realised actually everything's going to attack me anyway, so I might as well stay unmounted. Right. Ah, pants. Still not quite getting the right amount of wrath. So that's Bronway's Folly. We need to make it to Blackwall's Roost. Which is this building up here, and yes, I thought that Bristlehide might attack me. But it's not wasted time, because I will be using the hides that these creatures most generously offer me. And even in the bear form, you can swim over rivers if it gets... I mean, this is a walkable river, but I have managed to get my bear to swim elsewhere. It's quite cute seeing your bear swim. So I want the hides out of my pending loot, which is a difference, Liber, in Lord of the Rings compared to Star Wars, is that you get a pending loot. So all your items don't go straight into your inventory. You have is it 50 slots? Yeah, 50 slots of pending loot that you can choose to bring into your main inventory. What's attacking me? Oh, it's another wolf. Now then, the thing I want is over this way, so let's trash a few brigands on the way through. It's no less than they deserve, after all. I only got 10 wrath, so... And here, you got an ancient cairn, which is part of a deed. Cool. So you see, what you get there is the history of the Dunedain, which is the, from what I understand, the main kind of people group where good people came from. And you have to find the Dunedain statue, an ancient inscription, an ancient crest, an ancient altar, an ancient obelisk. Now they are dotted all over bree-land, so we won't be covering those today. We might find one if I manage to make it to Bree, but as it's 20 past 8, we might not make it to Bree. What I do want to do is get out of Archet again, so I didn't mean to come back here, I just totally forgot to trigger those deeds. It's more annoying later when you're nowhere near the area to have to come back to Archet, because it's a long old ride. Bree-land is a huge area. The pigs around here are definitely more aggressive than they should be. Although once you get a certain level over the mobs in a region, they don't attack you. Once their names become grey, they become trivial mobs. So you can still get hides, and for humanoids you can still get crafting recipes and miscellaneous loot, if you like, but they don't give you any XP. So that, roughly speaking, you can't out-level a region by too far if you just do the content that the game offers. If you do festivals, that can skew those figures a little bit, where you end up over-leveling a region, but not because of the stuff in the region. I'm trying to find the exit. I'm getting there. I should have made another cup of tea. Right. Let's get back to Combe. Sorry for the diversion. That was my memory playing tricks. Right. You see, because we killed a humanoid, we've got something like dim candle, which I'm not going to need, but I do have a character who will use that as a crafting material. Right, so I don't want to end up selling that by accident. But I do now want to get rid of my miscellaneous trash.
Greetings.
Greetings to you too. I don't suppose my weapon is... There isn't even a... that's just a hand axe. Yeah, no, my axe is already better than those. Right. Now, we were given this earlier on the epic... Here it is. We need to go and speak to... We want to try and find a grim stranger who is Strider or Aragorn. He has many names, apparently. I had to look up things to do with him. He carried many different names for many different reasons. Is that even the door I want to be in? No, it's the training hall. I want to be in the inn. Well, I do want to be in the inn. I wish I could go to the inn. Combe and Wattle Inn. Where even the chickens get served. Go figure. Okay.
Hello there.
Oh my, look here, a real live hero! It's not often we get such respectable folk through here. My, how my tongue runs on. Torridon told me to send you upstairs to his room as soon as you arrived. The stairs across the room... the stairs are across the room there, and Torridon's door is at the end of the hall. He said you should delay none. So we still haven't quite got Strider. Torridon's room is across the hall. This is across the hall. Am I doing this right? Where's the quest? Yes, the quest ring has now appeared, so it's this room here. Door. Descriptive. Okay, here's Torridon.
What do you need?
Ah, John does not disappoint. You do seem to be a heroic sort, and of the line of Beorn, unless I'm mistaken. I must take care to hide my movements, and I could use your help. I dared not betray my whereabouts to just anyone. There is much we need to discuss. Will you hear me?
Could I speak with you a moment?
That is why I'm here, after all. Thank you for your aid, Azilv. My kindred and I were driven from the bounds of the Shire by the Nazgul of Mordor. They pursued us eastward and slew many of us. It was my goal to join Amdir, but I've heard rumour of his fate in Archet. They say he was stabbed with a Morgul knife and led off by some evil men, the ones who lent the Blackwolds aid. There are few left now with power over such wounds, and those I know dwell some distance from here. We must find Amdir, and quickly if we are to save him. He is likely being held in the Blackwolds, by the Blackwolds somewhere in Chetwood. We must find a way to enter their lair and free him, but first we must find them. Speak with Constable Underhill, he may be of help. You can usually find him outside, near the Combe and Wattle. Once you've learned of the Blackwolds' lair and believe you can gain entry, return to me. Hurry, before it's too late. Now, Constable Underhill was the little hobbit that I passed earlier. So, let's go back to the little hobbit. As if there was any other kind. We can pick up the other quests later, but we may as well do this while we're in the area.
Oh, good day.
Torridon sent you, did he? The Hobbit lowers his voice. There's still a Blackwald agent in town. We think he's trying to rebuild the band from among the local ruffians and bullies. We need proof, though. A letter or parchment would do, as if it came from the agent himself. Many of the brigands hole up in Chetwood. Follow the east road until you come to a guardhouse where Constable Wren is stationed. From there, head north and look for the brigands' watchfires scattered through the woods. Search their packs for signs of their summons. Let me know right away if you find anything. We need to know what they're up to. Yes, yes, we do. So, we're currently in Combe here, and we've got quests here. Mourning the Dead there. Where's Reconnecting Ties? In the same place. And there, but the epic one we were just talking about is way out here. In which case, then, we may as well just pick up quests in the geographical order they appear. Is that the craft? Where's the crafting hall? Up there. In which case I will, while the room is quite quiet, I'll pick up the crafting stuff.
Stay a moment.
Sometimes in Lord of the Rings, once you pick up one quest that takes you to a certain area, it very often unlocks other quest givers' dialogues, which can be very handy for only picking up things when you need them. After initial raids, when the folk began fleeing for their villages, like Archet and Staddle, the Blackwalds found they could no longer rely upon raids to support themselves. They seized Old Bowman's farm and began tilling the soil, though badly, and without care for the land. The brigands at the farm must be under supervision of some Blackwald leader, else they would fall to laziness. If you confront the Blackwald's leader at the farm, you may be able to recover some of the valuables they have stolen. Old Bowman's farm is deep in the Chetwood at the end of the eastward path. I'd appreciate it if you could try. There are many folk who would benefit from recovery of this treasure. So, because that's in this area as well, and there's a few more of the exploration deed items around Chetwood. And I think the quest line will eventually take you through to Midgewater before you even... We won't end up in Bree today. Definitely not. Because there's a Slayer deed that you can pretty much only do in Midgewater. So we'll want to be using our claws as much as possible for that. What's the other one he's got here? Unpaid debts. The Blackwall brigands are on the run, no question about it. They're trying to regroup at camps throughout Chetwood, but they have suffered a real defeat at Archet. Excuse me, the brigands fled their old encampment up by Archet, carrying a large lockbox, which they brought to one of their smaller camps in the Chetwood, northeast of Combe. If we can get our hands on that lockbox, its contents could be used to help those who's lost property to the Blackwalds. There are a number of watchfires along the road, so you'll need to find the right one. These villains have a great many debts to repay, Azilv. If you can return with the lockbox, the folks around here will be better for it. Cool. I've picked up quite a few quests, so I'm not gonna pick up this one just yet. I can grab it later. There's no rush. And while you're still around, Libra, I'll show you what I mean by crafting being something you do, not something that is done for you in Lord of the Rings. So, different bear. This is a Lawmaster. They can use bears as companions. Companions in Lord of the Rings fight alongside you, but not every class has those.
What can I do for you?
Right, I won't read everything to do with these crafting ones because the discussions are not that interesting. Special level up animation because I've hit level 10, which actually means I can also equip my run speed necklace. Yes, yes I do. And I've got the Undefeated. Oh, go on then, let's make that one my title. You gain titles a lot quicker in Lord of the Rings compared to other games I've played, but it gives you a lot more options for personalisation. I won't bother with the mail just yet. I'll do that off stream. Now then, we want to pick up crafting. Now, where is the quest giver I am looking for? And I need the Mistress of Apprentices. That's the one. So you choose then what kind of vocation you want to pick up. So the crafting options available to you, you can either do Metalsmith, which basically makes metal armor, so it's great for champions like the person we had on earlier, guardians who carry heavy metal armor. Explorers do light and medium armor, so if you perform types of magic, so lore masters is a key one, rune keepers both have light armor, or medium armor where you need the maneuverability but not heavy, so hunters who use bows, Beornings have medium armor capability as well, so that was good for those classes. Weaponsmiths make metal weapons. Woodworkers down here make wooden weapons. Scholars is complicated. They can make dyes and temporary buff stuff, so like scrolls that will give you an temporary increase to your critical rating or your DPS or something like that. Cooks make trail foods which last for half an hour, 2 hours, whatever the recipe says. Again, for buff purposes. And jewelers make the other 7 main slots, so if you were going to pick up Lord of the Rings and it was your first character, you want to pick armor or jewelry, and your second character, I would advise you do the opposite one, so that between 2 of your characters you can craft 14 slots for your character. For this one I'm going to be picking Explorer.
What can I do for you?
Which will trigger a few crafting quests. I won't read these ones out, they're not that interesting. But I will pick...
Might I take a moment of your
I'm
time?
going to pick them up and do them.
Would you do something for me?
Yes, yes I would. Right, so... Introduction to
Greetings.
Forestry.
What do you need?
Prospecting and tailoring. Now,
Hello
unlike the Old Republic, with crafting Lord of the Rings, you don't choose your 3 different things that you want to do. So you can't make a pure gatherer, for example. But what the Explorer can do is it can turn wood that you can cut from trees in, or branches, more accurately, in the world. And turn it in, and then that can be handed, say, to a woodworker who can then make wood weapons out of it. So sometimes you need one character to process your materials, and another one to actually turn it into the thing you want to make, whatever that is. But the forester here will also turn my... I don't know if you remember, but earlier I was talking about you need to basically tan your hides before you can turn them in. So as a forester, you turn your light leathers that I picked up from killing lots of pigs earlier, turn them into light leathers, and then I can use my tailoring skill to make a cloak or armor, etc. Prospector is the one that I don't really need as an explorer, but I have a Lobi jeweler who I recently created, so I can gather, if I wanted to, metals on this character that I then want to use as crafting on a different character. So it's still worthwhile leveling up your abilities, and you can't farm a crafting node that's higher than the level you've got. So at the moment I'm apprentice, the next level up is journeyman. If I was to come across a journeyman gathering node and I hadn't leveled my apprentice ability, I would not be able to farm that node, which is something that used to be the case in the Old Republic and isn't anymore. Okay, so if I'm going to do the prospecting one here, I now need to use those ingredients to make a copper ingot. This is just sort of like proving your worth. So for turning raw metals into usable ingots, we use a forge. And I'll show you... Oh, I need to equip my prospector's tools. Right, so... your crafting tool is also a slot that you need to equip. Now sometimes you can get universal ingredient, universal, what they're called, tools, which mean you don't have to keep changing this. Metalsmiths can make tools of, in my case, a tailor, an explorer, sorry, but you have to have the appropriate tool in your slot here so that you can use the forge in this case. Or if I was going to pick up metals in the world, there we go. That's the copper ingot made. You'd need to have the correct tool to pick up the ingot, to pick up the raw metal, which makes sense from it because you're in a real world scenario here, in that you can't just, wander around and somehow pick up metals. You have to use a pick to dig them up, or if I'm chopping wood, I need an axe. So it makes sense if you consider the realism, the reality of it. In other games you can get away with, I'm just going to scan this and do it, or send my characters away. You could send an NPC in Star Wars: The Old Republic who's a doctor, and get him to go and make you some gear. There's a slight lack of realism that they can get away with, but you have to train yourself to be the right level on this one. Right, so we've done the introduction to prospecting. The other ones I need to do is I need to do the introduction to tailoring. I need to make a rough cloth coat. Try saying that hard. That several times fast. Rough cloth cloak. So I need to get to a workbench to make tailoring stuff, and the workbench is here and on the left. Now, very often the crafting you make, the stuff you craft yourself, is of a higher quality than stuff you would pick up on the world, in the landscape. Just answering a kinmate. I need to. Looks like the getting extra bag space is on sale at the moment. I'm gonna have to do that. So we need to make the rough cloth cloak, but I need to equip the tailoring tools to do so. I will be done in this soon. It's just that I need to be able to do this to be able to pick up materials in the wild. So there we go. I've already got the fact that this is a 51 armor, 24 evade rating. As a Beorning, I don't really yet need any will, because will does give me a slight evade rating. It gives me 26 points of evade rating, so already this is better. So I can equip that. Oh, I need to turn in the quest first.
Hello there.
There we go. And now we can equip that. And then the last crafting one here, and then we can get back in out into the wild and kill some things as a bear. We need to make a brushed light leather and a thin rowan board. And that's under here. Well, I only need to make one of them. I need to change to my forester's axe. It is better if you are getting into LOTRO, if you don't have one tool to rule them all, that you slot your crafting tools. So I need to slot the forester's axe. That's the next thing. I'm gonna have to make a drink fairly soon. So I'm supposed to make one brush light leather. One for now. I'll craft my own armor off stream, but I will need to improve what I've got. And make one thin rowan board. Hello. No, it's okay, no problem. Cold remedy. Hey, Gelly. Hey. Thanks for bringing that in. Cool.
What can I do for you?
And my wife and daughter managed to come in when everyone is very quiet. And now I have no more evidence. Let me see what you have done. Right. They praise your worthiness as a crafter. And I think, oh look here, you could get an easily lost title. I use it on another character, but that's probably more appropriate for me. I am easily lost. I'll pick up mail later. So now we need to put the quests back in the tracker. You can only track 5, and so sometimes you can lose you can lose track, literally, of quests you had intended on doing all the time. You decide, oh, I'm going to do those quests, then you pick up other ones and you forget the ones you'd originally intended to do. Right, so got Mourning the Dead, and is that Reconnecting Ties? Yes, okay. Let's get out of safety. Although we've got to speak to this poor, harassed Constable Wren. Very, very moody. Dusk happening. 6 minutes to gloaming. Mourning the Dead.
What do you need?
I've heard that many of the Blackwall brigands, after looting Archet, fled to Chetwood. It seems that the Blackwall leaders are angry. They feel that the raid might have been more successful if their followers had been less focused on filling their pockets and more on acting together. The main encampment is east down the road, then deep into the northern woods. I suspect that many of the Blackwalls can be found within that camp. Mayhaps if you search that area, you might find Gale's lost fishing pole. And Reconnecting Ties.
Greetings.
Looking for Covell Woodwright, are you? I've heard something about the boy, but I can't say his mother's going to like it. He's joined up with the Blackwalls. He hasn't been in Combe for long when they took him either. He tried finding work around town, but didn't have the stamina for hard labour, i.e. he's lazy. If you can talk to him, you might convince him to give up his new line of work, but I doubt it. I wager you'll find him east of Combe in the Chetwood. Just follow the path up from the lumber camp, and I'm sure to come across a Blackwall camp or two up there. So, we're going to have lots of fun killing brigands once we make it to Chetwood. Got to have, even on stream, the odd stop and stare moment. Very moody, cloudy sky. Love it. Absolutely love it. Coolio. Masked badger. Well, I'm not intending on badger slaughter, but you know, each to their own. And we're coming up to a message to Taylor Green. I don't really need to pick up... I will lose track of quests if I pick up too many, but this one is one I can turn in, or at least continue quest.
What can I do for you?
Archet's woes did not escape us here in Combe, and it's good to know what Era is doing, and no doubt about that, but the evil of the Blackwall has spread, and now rests in the same wood where we need to collect the wood for Archet. I will see that we do what we can, but as you can see, we've troubles of our own. We'll join those troubles fairly soon.
Could I speak with you a moment?
Combe has always relied on this lumber camp for her livelihood, and now the people of Archet will be relying on us to supply the wood to rebuild their town. If you remember from earlier, to anyone who's joining earlier, someone in Archet said, "Oh, we need more wood because, well, it got burnt mostly, and someone else's cart got overturned, but that Combe was the main supply camp for that." We'll get into bear form fairly soon, so we'll get to kill a whole load of wolves, which is perfect for Beornings, and a whole load of brigands, which is great for our LOTRO point balance. We need to start taking down some of the trees northeast along the cliffs, but there's a wolf den up that way that endangers our workers. Could you deal with these wolves for me? Gladly. It's not safe to chop down trees near there, and I'm afraid we might lose some of our best loggers. Follow the cliff wall, you'll see the wolves, or they'll see you. Yeah, that's one way to make it nice and friendly and welcoming. So, Den of wolves. Well, actually, the entire Chetwood apparently is full of wolves. So, I think there's a whole load of spiders here as well, which is great for Spider Slayer. Oh look, it's a wolf. They're spaced too far apart for my liking. Oh, we gained an ability. I'll just quickly review that. Die, spider, die. Go away. Another wolf. We didn't gain another bear form ability, and to confirm something from earlier, you can't just use the heal ability in bear form. So if you want to heal in bear form, you have to trigger it before skin changing. So the new ability we got here was Biting Edge. 2 quick and vicious strikes across an enemy, but actually adds more Wrath than any of our other abilities, if I'm correct. Yes, so we got a 5 and 10 Wrath increases for these two. This new one, Biting Edge, adds 15 to Wrath, so I'd be more tempted to start with, in my case, Key 4, and then go down. You do gain deeds for using abilities so many times, but your key with Beorning is to build up the Wrath as fast as possible. Who are you? Just another random Beorning. Fair enough. I'm actually here for wolves, but I do need more for Spider Slayer, so there's no harm in getting that before you get too far into the entire region. Ah, I'm being attacked by a spider and I have no Wrath left. So we've got now a class deed, Hearten here. Use Hearten 300 times. There's only so many times you can trigger that in a day. Hearten is the heal skill here. I suspect it won't be difficult to hit 300 times over the course of playing Beorning. We still need a few more wolves for the Den of Wolves deed. I don't know where we'll start with that ability. I need to use the 4 one. I think just like slamming my axe down into enemies' heads is a bit of a disturbing thing to enjoy, I suppose, but the one thing I don't have yet is the ability to shake off debuffs. I'm hoping that comes fairly soon. Unpaid debts is up this way somewhere. Feral Duskwolf. Oh, I still need one wolf for that at least, so let's clear that down. Oh, that was actually critical hit. Yay. Right, so how close am I to Spider Slayer? I need 12, so I may as well clear that down while I'm at it. Get the LOTRO points in. I'm just trying to build up, so I can see there's some brigands coming up here that I want to take down as fast as possible. Oh look, got the fishing pole. I was totally not expecting that to be actually on one of the black wolves. Never mind. It doesn't matter. Right, so unpaid debts. We're collecting a black gold lockbox. I'll get my run speed back once that debuff disappears. Oh, hello, Captain Dogwood. Great name. I should have probably picked up a ranged weapon. There's no particular urgency. Oh, that cheeky... Oh, that's okay, that was not a... I thought for a minute that was one of those chests, and an actual loot chest. And I thought someone was nicking it from me, but it's not a loot chest, it's just a... Because of the way LOTRO has its double tapping system, for quest objectives, you can... Two players can retrieve them at the same time, which is very handy for not getting annoyed at other players. The same actually applies to mobs. So if you need a named mob, and so does another player, then both of you can take it out, rather than one person stealing it before you. So long as you join in the battle at some point, you can still get some credit for that. Now this building up here is also one of the exploration deeds. I don't think we need to go in there yet. This is the Black Vault headquarters, which is part of the exploration deed.
Why are you bothering me?
What's that? Me mother sent you to find me? I don't care! I've never been good at anything in my life, but now I found something I can do, and do right good. You're gonna regret coming into this Black Vault territory. Pretty sure I'm not, but let's run with it anyway. You may have won this round, but I will never abandon the Black Vault. Now tell my mum to leave me be. She probably won't believe that you're not the nice little boy she thought you were. But then, people always like to think the best of their children, don't they? I say always. It's easier to think the best of them. So have we got everything? Yes, so we just need to get out of here now. Don't need any wolves yet. I'd like to think I can mount safely, but I think I'd just get attacked and be forced to dismount anyway. Oh, I hope I'm not having the connection problems. Are you still hearing me, Lieber? Oh yeah, there we go. Something going on in the EU countries to do with me getting my cursor in the wrong place. With the internet connections, it's like for some reason the ISPs are under more attack than normal, which causes quite a lot of grief. Apparently, especially when streaming. Never mind. I'm not particularly in a rush for picking any of the other loot up from there. Okay, so try to get back as fast as possible to the apart from I'm only 3 levels over the mobs, so I'm still very much in attack range, and I must have gotten slightly too close to that one. Doesn't matter, I need as many light hides as I can get. Oh, and I also need to start picking up these crafting nodes, which I have been forgetting right now. Gives you a chance to have a drink. Hello. Oh, how rude. Caught me off guard. I need a better weapon, or I need to sort out some new armor. Very, very slow in human form. Slower than even I've got patience for. Ooh, level 11. What's attacking me? No, we don't need to. We've got 47 in Wrath. We may as well use it. Here we go. Not difficult to take out higher level mobs when you're in bear form. Oh, can you just remind me? It needs to update my... They're like, is this who I think it is? Yes, yes it is. I just haven't added my member note. Whoops. Let me add my member note. While the room's quiet, it's a good chance to just catch up on stuff. There we go. Now people don't have to ask me. Notes updated. There we go. Okay, sorry for that distraction. That's me getting admin sorted. Right. Cool. So where are we headed? We are trying to get back to the guy who was asking us to kill wolves.
What do you need?
You took care of the wolves. That will make harvesting the trees by that done much safer. Rebuilding the burned buildings in Archet will require more wood than we have, and that's only one village. I don't think the Black Wolves have numbers to try anything funny around Combe, but they're still saddled. Too many raids, and we need to cut down the whole Chetwood to make repairs. Yeah, you see, because I've got certain equipment already here. No, it doesn't matter, Lieber. No worries. It is early morning for you. I should have used that time to make my next set of armor. I'm gonna go back to Combe and I'll probably do just that, so I can finish off taking my cold remedy before anyone else joins. Right. So let's take the quicker route than running. I was going to get that crafting node, but I don't particularly want to fight a badger just for the sake of getting a crafting node. There's one up here that isn't guarded by a badger. Yep, this is a horse that was basically gifted to me because someone in LOTRO family bought an expansion pack for me, and this is the only way you can get this armoured horse. It's very beautiful. I was very, very grateful. Right, so the next thing is back to port. Constable Wren. You fought with Covell Woodwright, but he escaped. Well, his sort will not be able to flee forever. I feel the time of the Blackwall Brigands is coming to an end. It seems I was right. He will never give up his lawlessness. His mother will not be pleased to hear it. Oh, what a happy mama. So I need to talk to Maida Woodwright again. Is everyone in here? Yeah, in which case what I'm going to do is I will finish my cold remedy while the chat room's quiet and make some armour. Don't think I can make might-based medium armour. I don't think. But I can't carry heavy armour, so I need to make some leathers first. There. Gives me a chance to actually have my cold remedy, which makes talking easier. Yeah, horses are the main transportation method in Lord of the Rings. There are goats as well. Sometimes you can pick up a goat at an event. Otherwise, when you get maximum reputation with Thorin's Hall, you can buy a reputation mount that's a goat. And Moria, you can pick one up as you quest through that region. So goats are not the vast majority of the transportation methods in Middle-earth. They are horses. Right, what can we actually make? I don't want light armor, I need medium. Vitality, extra morale. That's less than I'm currently wearing. 96 and in combat morale regen. Yeah, some of these are not appropriate for Beorning, but I have to use the crafting. To be able to actually level it up and make better gear next time round. I'm still going to need spools of rough cloth though. Alright, where is the generic vendor? I need the spools of rough cloth from. Is he the guy in the main hall? This one. Yeah, supplier.
What do you need?
Spools of rough cloth. Spools of rough cloth. I can't speak today for some reason, it's really weird. Spool of elven cloth, fine cloth, extraordinary. Spool of... Am I being blind? Ah, spool of rough cloth. Oh, that's thread. I need to get my eyes in gear. I need a spool of rough thread. It was thread. Right, okay. So let's pick up... Right, a few of those. I won't use them all now because I can't improve everything that I am wearing. Padded armor, that's better because I'm only on 2 vitality at the moment, so I can use one of those. If anyone is new to LOTRO, you can produce better gear later if you have a critical roll, but you don't get the option of being able to make better armor at your current level until you get over your proficiency. So you got to get 200 points of proficiency at this level, and then you have a critical chance of better armor. Gloves. Do I add extra armor but take away my might? No, because might is the main stat for Beorning. 2 vitality. No, okay. I'm not going to need many of these straight off, am I? 96 armor in combat morale regen. Don't really need that. Yeah, I might just... I'll leave it at that for now, and I'll try to up the proficiency off stream so that equips that. I'm going to keep the Beorning standard, the sort of starter gear here that I did have, because it is very... I can use it as outfit, as cosmetic gear. You're not in my gear. Can are you? No. Just want to check. Have I accidentally sold the trousers? Not recently. Oh, hang on. Did I look at the right list?
Hello there.
Buy back. Not recently, but it's not urgent either. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just grab repairs and I don't want to sell the ore or the leathers or that because I need them. Woven cloak of determination, no, fine, we can get rid of that. Right, let's get back on with questing, as we didn't actually need much of any of that. Oh, I want crafting materials and tools, etc. now to be in my bag 5. Cool. Well, if you weren't sleepy before, Lieber, it's just turned night time here, so it's nice and stars, and really soothing nighttime music. So where are the other quest givers? All the rest are actually in Combe, so we can go and turn in other quests, which should bring us up hopefully to level 11. I might take a 5-minute break then to make a proper drink and get a breath of fresh air. Unpaid debts.
What do you need?
Ah, you have returned with the Brigand's lockbox. Let's see what's inside, and we can sell the valuables to support the survivors of the Blackwall raid throughout the area. Locked! I should have guessed as much. Well, until we can find a key, we won't have much luck with this. There seems to be initials carved into the lock. RF. Most unusual. Now, because I'm not playing a jeweler and I haven't made jewellery, I will actually take one of these. 2 agility, 2 vitality. What does agility do for me? Physical mastery and evade rating. That's probably going to be better than... what was the other option? Vitality, which just adds health, I think. Resistance rating, non-combat. I'm going to go for the agility because I don't have much of that hanging around. And I do need physical mastery because of being in bear form and the kind of weapons that I use. I was talking to one of the other constables shortly before you returned, and it seems that he learned some of the Blackwalls were keeping even more valuables in their main camp in the ruins of northern Chetwood. With any luck, you might find a strong box that's not locked. It's worth trying anyway. There are so many people who need the money to rebuild, and who better to take it from than the ones who stole it in the first place. Totally agree with you there, my friend. Totally agree. Right, I'm not going to go on my horse to speak to a hobbit because I'm already much taller than him. Much, much taller. Poor hobbit.
How do you do?
Hello, what's this? Ellie Cutleaf? Well, I should have guessed. She's smart and disreputable by all accounts, and she's just the sort who might lead us to the Blackwall agent. She won't lead you to this Amdir fellow, I don't think, but it's a start. We must gain access to the leader somehow. He'll have the answers we seek. Oh, I need to select a quest. Fate or might? Oh, might is far more important
word with you?
for this class. Now here's an idea. Ellie is looking for new blood. Why not help her out? You can mask yourself as a ruffian and offer to join the Blackwalls. Gain her confidence and we might find out where the Blackwall leaders are hiding. Basically, you're going as an undercover agent into a brigand camp. Subtle mission on it with a class where she'd just rather slash everything in sight. Of course, it would be dangerous. Do you think you're up to the task? Ellie's house is in the northwest corner of the town by the pond. There are some large cages nearby. She breeds dogs, I think. Go and speak with her, and remember, you're a brigand. You're a brigand, my daughter. Right, so in order to find where Amdir is being held, we are going to pretend to be a Blackwall. Let's get rid of all this scrap stuff before it expires. And then we'll go and pretend to be a brigand and a ruffian, rather than well, I guess I could be a mobster brigand kind of person. Too pleasant to face, but you know the Beornings rough look works really well. Cool.
How may I help you?
So I need to keep light hides. I'm not a metalsmith. Or a woodworker. Fine. Cool. Let's do the Ellie Cutleaf bit first. I forgot how many quests end up being spawned around Archet and Combe. And Staddle. In fact, Staddle has quite a few as well. But you end up just heading into Bree when you can. I mean, you can go into Bree at level 12 and pick up quests after that, but it can be quite tough once you head out the west of Bree. Right, so we're going to go into this lady's house and say, we want to join your Blackwall gang, please. Honestly, Ellie Cutleaf's house. See, she doesn't look that unpleasant for a brigand, does she?
How can I be of service?
Not another one! I thought I'd gotten all of those letters back. You'd be better served just by going home. You don't want to join up with the Black Wolves. I listened to Skunkwood, their leader, and helped them breed some wolves. I admit, I did it for the promise of riches, but I regret it. Jagged Jack is their head wolf master, and he had me breed a local wolf with one of them wargs. When they took me into their camp deep within Chetwood, I got afeared right quick. There's something not right there. I've done something terrible, Azil, and I need help getting out. So you've been told to go into the Blackwall gang to try and join up with them, and actually she doesn't want any more to do with them. So all of a sudden this person who's a gang leader, you think, oh, now I've kind of feel sorry for you. And I don't want to. The den mother I helped them breed is kept at Skunkwood's farm in the northern Chetwood. She needs to be killed before her next litter is born, else her pups will do worse damage to the Chetwood and the folks here. So we need to defeat Skunkwood's den mother. I know you are bred for the sole purpose of producing more vicious offspring, but we're gonna just kill you now. Hope you don't mind too much. Could do with turning in a couple of these quests so I can pick up a couple of others. So Gale Catchpole. A human named very much kind of in the way a hobbit would be named. So, where's you, Gale Catchpole? Your Gale Catchpole. Great. Okay. And there's the other one I need to hand in.
What do you need? You
found it. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I've been thinking that the pole should be given to the waters of my dad's favourite fishing hole, the pond near the Hunter's Lodge in Archet. I think he'd like that. Thank you again. If you just moved to a bigger computer. I know I've had some people who've moved from trying to watch my stream on a mobile phone and then go, oh, wait, yeah, phone to the computer. Yes, I've had a few people do that, because sometimes phones don't quite keep up with streams for whatever reason, and people on desktops are like, there's no problem with this, and people on a phone can be, but there's this delay going on. I don't know why.
Woe to me.
What? Covell has joined those villains, in truth? I refuse to believe it. He's a good boy. Yes, of course he's a good boy. Even if he has a temper. He's a woodwright, though, through and through, and would never do such a thing. You shouldn't say such horrible things, and to an old woman. Ah, what am I saying? I knew the boy had landed himself in a spot of trouble. Thank ye. Thank ye at least for finding him. Right, so, as a Beorning, you get an option here between power, potions and health potions. You don't need power ones as a Beorning, because you don't have power source. Oh, level 11. Right, have we got any? We have trait points to spend, people. Fabulous. Right, so we can either increase our critical chance, increase thrash damage, and a chance if you hit behind an enemy from behind, it can heal you. So I'm going to go for 1 point to increase damage as a bear, and that's why I was hitting slam before, because actually if I can get them from behind, it heals me. I'm a bit risk averse when it comes to how I play, so if I can heal, I'd rather go longer in a battle and survive it than try and go in with as much DPS as possible and not have defense. So I'm not very good with really fast battles. Okay, so we've got some space in our quest log now, and there are a couple to pick up. And we are on level, so there's no harm in playing these quests through. So this is I'm level 11 and these are level 10 quests mostly. Blackwood pants, I missed one. It doesn't matter. Right, we can come back to that.
Would you do something for me?
Friendship's renewed. We don't need to go to Skedaddle yet, but we can. Oh no, loose wires. Oh, that's quite dangerous. If you got a tablet, sometimes tablet computers can fare a bit better. Aside from that, be pretty difficult. I mean, I haven't tried to connect to streams on anything other than, because I've my main screen is actually, my main computer is a laptop, but I have a different monitor, so I don't know what I don't know how to fix your loose wire thing. Sorry. Hardware is not my specialty. Now that the people of Archet have stood up against the Blackwall Brigands, we got them on the run, the tides are turning. Things are returning to normal, and I'd say it's time I did my part. I used to send honey down to Staddle in trade for pipeweed, a business I am ready to pick up again. My old trading partner, a hobbit by the name of Lolo Wendingway, used to peddle wares in roads between here and Staddle to the south. When the Blackwalls came, I wager he holed up down there. If you happen to be in Staddle and see Lolo, please let him know I want to renew the partnership. Which I will have a reason not to, if I remember this correctly. But we're not going to Staddle quite yet. We need to go back up to Chetwood. Where is the prologue quest? Yes, so we need to go through Chetwood to get to the prologue quest anyway. So we need to do that. There are some wolves up there, which makes for good harvesting as well. Not into Archet. Let's go this way. Why has he got a quest?
I do not ask much of you.
Oh, okay, I don't need to pick that up. You do ask much of me, I don't want to do your quest. What are you doing?
Take a moment of your time.
Me old dad was a robber some years back and got his hands on a good deal of riches, as I hear it. Constable caught him, but afore he was hanged, me dad told me where he had buried his loot. I never needed it afore now, so I was content to let it stay buried, but I figure it's time to get my hands on wealth enough to keep you warm and shod, as me old dear dad called it. Can you take this pickaxe and dig the treasure up? Just take the road east from Combe to Constable Wren's post up by the guardhouse. Climb over the hill and on the right, walk down the riverbank. Or because I get lost when people give me directions, follow the map. It'll have an X carved into it. You'll be helping me make a new start of things, and you'll have me everlasting thanks. Great. You want me to find your dad's not very well earned riches. Okay. My computer's a laptop too, but I know Dad swapped out the hard drive. Ah, the SSD is, yeah, if you can go to SSD, it's much better than one of the old style hard drives. Better for data storage and processing. But that should not have whacked the wireless cable though, Lieber. It shouldn't have. One of these days I'll ask you how you got your username, because Lieber's a German word. Right, now this area has bears in it, but I don't attack bears as a Beorning. I will gladly attack pigs. And actually some of these are going to get in my way, aren't they? Yeah. So, this the ability in my 4 slot is the one that adds 15 wrath. Not enough in here to bother. Let's kill another one and then... Oh well. You can't win them all. Right, so we're trying to find the not very well hard-earned riches. Oh, requires human form. That's something to notice about Beornings, is that some things that you can do as in human form, you can't automatically do in bear form, which makes perfect sense. Bears aren't trained to use axes to dig up tree trunks in this instance. You can't pick up crafting nodes as a Beorning either. Coolio. Right, actually, instead of immediately turning this in, let's actually go and do the epic quest in Chetwood. Because then we can take out some brigands as well while we're at it. These masked badgers are everywhere. What level are they? I don't have the... oh, pants. Right. So, we are going... well, we can go into the Blackwall headquarters to get for Blackwalled valuables. Oh. At the farm. Huh, interesting. Right, epic quests, heroic quests. No, not exactly. Heroic quests equivalent in LOTRO would be a small fellowship quest where you could take 2 or 3 other players with you. So that's similar to the H2 Plus and H4s. Epic quest is basically the storyline as Lord of the Rings eventually unfolds. So this is because this is level 11, you're well before anything that's happening in the movies, except for the fact that I think by the time you arrive in Bree, the hobbits are trying to leave the Shire with Frodo having the ring. So basically Epic Quest is your Lord of the Rings storyline, and regardless of how many regions you have unlocked, you can always do the epic quests for free. You don't have to pay to do the full epic quest. The epic quests are the ones that also trigger cutscenes in some instances in LOTRO. Don't know whether that makes sense the way I've explained it. It's almost like the movie book order of things. Oh, come on, let's just take out some of these. I just feel like, killing things. Okay, there we go. Being surrounded by groups. Let's prove a point. I've triggered the heal before going into bear form this time, which means I can get the self-healing in place, taking out the whole group, and still have full health. That is one of the bonkers things that I really like about Beornings. Okay, let's do... we've got options. 35 minutes to go. I've already killed Captain Dogwood once before. How many lives does he have? I guess the R is that kind of makes sense. So in LOTRO you have small fellowship quests for 3 or 4 players, or sometimes you can do them on your own if you're over-leveled. And then you have fellowship quests that I think are 8 people. And then you have raids, which are your 16-ish. I've not done a raid in LOTRO, so I don't know what the minimum number of players for a raid is. Okay. At least I'm making some sense. It's been an oddly quiet stream. I think it's because it's a weekday. But it's good because it gets me into the swing of doing things in an evening after a day, rather than with all of my best energy. Oops, excuse me. Need to get some food fairly soon, I think. Die! Where are we at? One of the things you won't have seen me do, I don't think, Levy, you might have been asleep when I last did it, which is fine. With the achievements you have in Star Wars The Old Republic, you don't know until you go into Legacy how many you've got. For this one, you can see it comes up with Brigand Slayer here, which says I've got 22 out of the 30 straight off. So that gives you the information of how many you need without having to purposefully track. Or keep checking, for that matter. how many more, in this case, brigands I need to kill before I complete the achievement, I complete the deed. Have I got 10 wrath? Yes. Right, so what I'm looking for here... Ah, it's sparkle powders over here. So, black wall, we need to collect... What are we looking for? More treasure. Ah, treasures from the black walls. It is very useful, it's very handy, it doesn't clutter up your UI. I mean, you can track... So, with the quests that are here, you can use one of these slots if you want to track. So in this case we're in Eriador, we're in Bree-land. So if I was going to track Brigand Slayer, which I might want to do instead of having to hover, is you can just add it to tracker, which I can't do at the moment because I'm using the maximum 5 slots. If I untracked one of these, I could add that one to the tracker and then it just ticks over as well. So there's more than one way to skin a rabbit, as my grandpa used to say. Ugh, flippin' neck. More than one way to achieve things. There we go. Never skinned a rabbit in my life. The phrases you remember when you're not really thinking straight. Right, so we picked up that. I have a feeling we may have to come back to the Blackwalled headquarters again. You're messing with the wrong band. We have powerful friends. Yes, but you're dead. Right, so Blackwalled valuables, and you can only just make this out just south of the blue circle, which we'll do because that's Blackwalled valuables quest, is where we have to go and try and get that half wolf, half warg hybrid dog. But you can only just see it's orange, only because that's the colour of these down here. If I change the order, or if I could change the order, I could make it more. We skin rabbits around here too. I've never wanted to do that sort of thing. At one point, me and my wife thought we might end up in a part of Africa, and in that part you have to kill your own chickens, and Sam was like that she knew she was going to be the one that would have to strangle the chickens if we had to live like that, because I just don't have the heart or the stomach to do it. This isn't looking good. No, you're dying. Right. So we've completed the Brigand Slayer one here. So since we've been on air, I've... Yeah, I know you were... I know. We've got 20 LOTRO points. In Watcher of Roads, I'm not that bored. The LOTRO points is the equivalent of cartel coins in Star Wars: The Republic, as I only have other Star Wars players on at the moment. So LOTRO points is the equivalent of cartel coins. Now you can, as with the Star Wars store, add LOTRO points manually, but you can earn a lot yourself. By doing deeds, and some people just create lobby characters because the deeds are easier to do in the starter regions. I have not needed to farm the points at all. Oh, this is the farm. Right, so what we're doing here, we're searching for valuables. Now, okay, it's not a valuable that is on a brigand, is it? Yes, it is. Ah, fabulous. Okay, wasn't sure. Found a receipt. These might be common criminals, but they keep their receipts. There we go. So, the only thing we've got left to do in this area is defeat that den mother, which is somewhere in this direction. So now we've completed that initial Brigand Slayer deed, it's triggered the advanced version. which means we need to defeat 60 brigands. Now, there's no rush to do that in Bree-land, which is the region we're in. There are loads of brigands, and you can just follow the quest lines here, and you will hit those targets without really trying. And there's 8. I need 8 more spiders. I could have done with doing that while I was here, actually, but never mind. Right. Sometimes you have to purposely go to an area to complete a deed. And one of the things you have to kill in Bree-land is what do they call them? Sickle flies. And the only place you can find them in this entire region is Midgewater Marshes. So you spend quite a lot of time there killing sickle flies. You know you can start lobby characters inside each server. Yes, you can. I had forgotten that. It's whether you enjoy doing that, but it seems quite... Because as with cartel coins, your LOTRO points are also account-wide, so the same principle applies. Oh, this player's going to be after the Den Mother as well. I want to fight. I'm going to have to... Skunkwood's Den Mother. You're mine. That's it, he joined in. That's fine. We both got... credit for killing that at least. I just didn't want that hunter to nick it completely. Sometimes other players can beat things. Yes, so I see what you mean. Yes, you can. Did you see Volk's video on that then? It's not something I've considered doing because I don't have a particular need. There's always been a need so far in the last year and a half of me playing LOTRO for me to have LOTRO points, because you can buy the expansion packs using LOTRO points. You don't have to pay cash. The only thing you can't buy with LOTRO points at the moment is the latest Mordor expansion, whereas every other region, an expansion pack you can. So what's left in the LOTRO stuff for me under expansions isn't that expansive. There's not that many I'm left to do, at which point the need for LOTRO points is not that high. Yes, I need to take advantage of that sale, however. So, under... where are the expansion packs? Account. Quest packs. Isengard. So I still need to undo Isengard, which I'm not going to do until the quest packs go on sale. And so I can choose to get either just the quests in the area, or some of the instance clusters, so they're group stuff usually. And Helm's Deep. Okay, so it's going to take me ages to save for Helm's Deep. That's good to know actually, because I need 4,000 LOTRO points for that. I dread to think how many Mordor's going to be when they finally release that for... Ah, Swataristas. Oh, it might... I wonder if that... I saw it on my YouTube subscriptions, and I thought it was Volk's. A lot of things are him, so... Right, let's take... I'll use my quick travel to get back to Stadel instead of having to fight my way through. Excuse me. Coolio. So, what we got in... Oh, Apprentice Tailor Scroll Case. That's me. So, the way you can pick up extra schematics, recipes in LOTRO, which is the equivalent of schematics in Star Wars: The Republic, is through scroll cases that drop from mobs. So, in this case, I've got an Apprentice heavy cloth shoes. Here we go. I may or may not make them myself, but...
Greetings.
What character did you create, Lieber? Where are you in... Now that you've actually got me on a decent sized screen, you're recognising stuff. That's good to know. What kind of character did you create? Need to hand in a few quests around here, because I've got a lot that need ticking off. But we had fun there, clawing some brigands to death at least. They deserved it. Oh yes, Blackwall valuables.
What do you need?
What's this? Rurik? That's a Rurik Fennel living in Combe? He's a locksmith. But why would he be aiding the Blackwall, Zilv? Rurik's house is southwest of here, just behind the Combe and Wattle. You'd best have a talk with Rurik. I'd be very interested to know why he's been locking boxes for the Blackwalls. Very interested indeed.
Would you do something for me?
Sure you would, Mr. Police Person. Rurik is a locksmith here in Combe. You should show him that receipt and ask him why the brigands appear to have common patrons of his. Odd that they have two very... no rush. I'm around for at least another half an hour. More treasure.
What do you need?
You found a strong box, and this one is locked as well. And you see the scratches on here, right? RF, just like the other one. Well, we know who that is now. We know it's that Rurik Fennel. Do I want... Well, there's no point in having a maximum power bracelet on a Beorning. You don't need anything to do with power. What does will do for a Beorning if we're learning? What does will do? As a Beorning, will increases your tactical mastery. I wonder if that includes healing. Is healing a tactical skill? No. Yes, it is. It's a tactical skill. So actually, having extra will in will improve your ability to heal yourself as a Beorning. Tactical mitigation, so anything against magic attacks. Evade rating. So we do need some will, especially for self-healing. Coolio. No worries. I found with LOTRO at the start, it took a bit to get into it, and mix it up with other games that you play, and you'll get the hang of it. I originally played LOTRO just as I'm gonna chill out a little bit, and then I just started to really, really enjoy it. It's much slower paced. There's no rush to level. The leveling system is not quick, and so I just ended up taking to it completely. Love it. Right, so I don't need that quest giver there. Who's this guy? Is this the Rurik guy? Nope. No, it's another one we need to hand in. Okay.
It's a sorry
What?
day.
They chopped down the hanging tree, and ye dug at all the trees with an axe? That's terrible. How will I ever find me dad's buried treasure now?
I don't know if you can help
Maybe
me.
the woodcutters at the lumber camp up east of here remember which tree was the hanging tree. Seems a bit ironic that his treasure was buried where his dad was hung, but he's trying to find criminals' wealth, so what can you say? Azilv, you've got to have a word with Mason Thorne, the man in charge there. He just has to remember which of the stumps used to be the hanging tree. He just has to. Of course, he won't go himself. That's the fun thing with some people in Middle-earth. Please go and speak to this person for me, because I'm not a people person. The lumber camp is just along the road. Please, I need that money to make a new start for myself. I admire his intentions, at least. Okay, so Rurik Fennel Locksmith is just up there. Haha, if I run with friends, do you prefer to run... Are you more of a group player thing compared to a solo player thing? I'll come back to... Where is the Rurik Fennel Locksmith? Is he outside or is he inside? Where is this locksmith? I can't tell. Is he inside? I'm being really dense. Where's... he's in the Combe and Wattle. Okay, in which case, I'll go to Ellie Cutley first, because I'm on a mission from the ranger in the Combe and Wattle as it is, and I don't really want to just keep backing and forthing to the inn. Not without having a drink, anyway. It's been nice to have a nice chilled stream. I think what I'll end up doing on Sunday's stream is going back to Moria. I was originally going to do a Fall Fest stream, but the party tree is a little bit laggy because it's so busy. So if I do a Fall Fest stream, I might do it a week or so in, when maybe the party tree is a little less crammed. Ah, right, okay. I mean, I understand that. I have seen other people start new characters and run with friends. That is possible. It's hard to. It would be hard for me to do that due to our time zone joy. I am not. Oh, it might be possible depending on what you do in your evening. No, mornings for me aren't good, which would be your evenings. However, I found I got into LOTRO a lot more once I got into a kin. Because then you can arrange to meet people up. Arrange to meet up with people. My words are getting in the wrong order because it's getting late. So sometimes having that kin involvement, as long as it's a relaxed kin, can give you help if you want it, and actually got me to engage more with stuff. Ellie Cudleaf, I'm glad you were able to defeat the Den Mother before she brought any more of those half-wargs. Now there's just Skunkwood to deal with. He spends most of his time in Blackwall's hideout these days. Yes, I thought I had to go back in there. There are dark-skinned men who sometimes attend him, clearly not from these parts. That Jagger Jack fellow. Great name. Yay, a decent axe at last. So we get two-handed axe, 20 to 33 common damage. So it's basically 1.5 times better than what I've currently got, plus 5 might, and better chance to reduce armor, or rather, better armor reduction. So there we go. That looks a lot nicer than the one we had. Yeah, if I'm going to be on... Well, you're studying, aren't you, Libra, if I remember right? I am usually in a game or other in an evening. Depends on what's going on with daughter, of course. When Skunkwood took me to the Blackwolds encampment in the Chetwood, I met Jagger Jack. Jack is training the wolves for the Blackwolds. He kept most of them in the ruins in the north part of the woods. If we're going to put a stop to the Blackwolds, then we may need to do a little mischief for our own. I'm not want to do this, mind you, but we need to stop them wolves before they use against Combe. Leecher Cartwell can help us and will. Talk to him at his house up the cliff and Combe area. Tell him that I need a poison to kill the wolves. Who's that guy? What's his class? Oh, he's a hunter. He's just a very, very smartly dressed hunter. Okay. Right, so where are we going? We need to speak about getting a poison for wolves first. And we may as well turn in the quest that is... Hey, where'd it go? Rurik Fennel. Yeah, we need to speak to the guy in the Combe and Wattle as well, and then we can go out and kill a few more brigands. That's why you don't need to worry about, certainly Brigand Slayer in Bree-land at all. The quests take you to these, and there's a lot to do with brigands in Bree-land as well, so there's really no stress about killing brigands at all. Job hunting can be quite tricky, Lieber, so I had to make my own job in the end, before health made me change it again. So I know job hunting can be quite hard. I've gone into the training hall. See, I could have said getting lost around Bree-land. I need to actually go into the pub. I didn't come for training, I came for a drink. Right. In fact, a drink is exactly what I fancy now. Right, cool. So, where is this logger? That's the lumber camp, not logger. The Rurik Fennel, where is he? Oh, he isn't in this place. The ring looked like it was in this place, though. So where's the Friendships Renewed guy? It's in Staddle. I really should stop misreading maps. It would make things a lot easier. So, the prologue guy is that way, as is, in fact, the locksmith. So, how blind have I been? It's because I haven't been up this road. So the first guy is here, and the next guy is, and I think it is a guy as well, is up here. Streaming, my job, effectively, we've had to decide with my health that blogging, gaming, streaming, video creation is going to be my job, and that's fine, as long as I don't start to think of it as work, because I don't want to stress out about it. I think if I try too hard, I could make it harder on myself. It is a challenge trying to work out how to provide a great service and give people something to enjoy while I'm streaming or what I'm blogging about, rather than thinking how much money am I making from it. So the content always has to come first, as much as I physically can. So it is going to be, we've already basically decided that. Yes, my name is Rurik, and yes, I'm a locksmith. What's this about? One of my strong boxes, recovered from a brigand, and a letter. I see. I'd hoped I saw the last of the Black Wolds. You must understand I did not willingly help them. My business is keeping things locked away, so I do not often ask questions of my customers. I filled an order for 20 strong boxes upon completion, was visited by the Black Wolds. One, a tough fellow, took my master key, and threatened my life if I talked. One of the others with him called him Applewood. Please, tell Constable that any aid was unwilling and I only stayed silent because I feared for my life. Actually sounds like a very genuine story. Thanks for that encouragement, Lieber. I still feel very new to this, and I know it's going to take a while for me to build up regular people who follow and enjoy, but even if one or two come along, as long as they have a good time, then that's what matters to me. Numbers, not so much at this point. I think I have between 8 and 10 on my weekend ones so far, so that's really encouraging. So this is the guy we're trying to speak to about poisoning the wolves that the Black Wolves are turning, all in the search for Amdir, which we still haven't got any closer to, really. Ellie got herself in trouble, did she? I've been near the wood of late to gather herbs and such. Something has the animals there stirred up for certain. If this will help make things right between Ellie and Combe folk, I will help. I think I know just the thing. I'll need fresh honey, blackwort root, and several red berries. There are beehives behind the abandoned house south of Combe. The berries grow in patches in the valleys over the hill behind the house. Blackwort root is found near the wolf den in North Chetwood. Now I have a really bad feeling that some of these ingredients are around bears. So I need to really try, like really try not to kill any bears. Right, now the honey is behind one of these buildings. Yes, which building is it? Which building is it? I thought it was that one down there, but I could be wrong. Yes, I think I am wrong. South. Well, I think my wife's done a very good job at keeping NJ quiet. Ah, it's just outside of Combe. That's why I'm getting confused. Right. And then the rest, then the honey's the easy one to pick up. The rest are around Den of Wolves and I think some bears. So here's the honey, which we collect from the beehive. We only need one of those. Right. So now the rest, I am going to attempt to not kill bears with my Beorning. Yes, I think, yeah, I have to take the defense approach. So if a Beorning attacks, if a bear attacks me, then I obviously will have to defend myself, which will of course result in the death of the attacking bear. But I won't go out of my way to taunt or kill bears. And in fact, if there's any quests that require it, my Beornings won't kill it, because they're basically cousins. I think I'm not aware. There's an exploration deed item around here, which we should try and pick up. Only that bear cub will attack me. I think the only way to get this without angering the bears is to come back at a higher level, so I'll do that. So yeah, sometimes you'll turn down, well, this is my choice of course, it's my in-character choice, which taking on a Beorning made me think more about my characters than I previously had. What ethics do they have? What things might they refuse to do? Rather than just picking up every quest and killing everything because I want to level up. It's harder to RPG if you don't engage with your characters more. Now they were looking for... Haha, there it is. The joy of it still being nighttime, albeit pretty much coming up to dawn, as you can see in the skyline there, is that you can see your quest objectives clearer. So we need... That's a red berry bush. We need 6 of those. 6 of those babies. Now this is going to be hard because I have to do this for the quest. Now, can I grab... I'm probably going to end up killing some of these and I don't want to. So if I can skirt around them... I don't know what their aggro range is. I think I had the other Lobi Beorning that I had been practicing on, for want of a better word. I did manage to not kill or be attacked by any other bears, but it's flipping hard work. I'm going to try. So that bear is asleep. Of course, them being asleep doesn't mean they won't attack. Right, so there's one of these berries here that's away from a bear. Great. Then I can scooch between these 2 bears. Yep. That's number 4. I want to get this one off to my left here, which is fairly close to a bear, but if I go up the hill, I might be able to avoid being attacked, which I have. There's no need to purposefully anger your cousins. I need 1 more of these berry bushes. Now I need to be able to get out without angering the Beornings. Angering the bears. Hey, I know. Yep. Yeah, if you give me 10 minutes, I'll be fine. Family admin. So... we just need the blackwort roots, which are they the ones that's... Uric fennel. Where are they? I don't know where the blackwort roots are. I might have to come back to that. Let's see if we can do the epic bit before end of stream. So we need to head back up towards Chetwood. So I still want to exit this area without angering the bears, which I did by climbing over these rocks to get down here. So if I can reverse that, then in theory should be doable. I'll be a bit gutted if I don't manage it because I've got this far. So my wife does most of the other family admin, so she manages the finances because the stress of it would put me in pain, and she manages the shopping. I do the cleaning in the house, most of it anyway. Right, let's see if we can finish the epic, and then we can. Then I'll have to close the stream off for this session. Ah. Drats, I was hoping to escape all bears, and there's one more. Can I manage it? This will be quite impressive to manage this twice if I can. Oops. Right, so... we managed not to actually kill any bears or be attacked by any. I think, given how many there were there that could have attacked me, that's not bad going. So, because I need to close off in just over 5 minutes, I'll just beeline straight for the epic quest. What I'll do on the next Beorning session is... that bear should not be that close to the lumber camp. For the next Beorning session, I'll be a few levels higher, so we've got a few more abilities to have a look at. We've only gained one ability, but looked at how to see 5 or 6 of them today, along with controlling, building up your rage that you need to be able to skin change. What we're doing here, we're looking for a... is this where the... This is the Blackwort route which we need. So this is near the wolf den, is that right? Wolves, I can kill as many of these as I want. In some regions... Oh, there's one here. Just a little tip if you do get back into LOTRO Liber is if you can't always see these kind of plant missions in daylight, but if you hit the N key, you can see the labels come up. It just makes things easier to spot. Also very handy in festivals when you want specific things. So that one's... You're too close to a plant I want, so you must die for the privilege. Yes, sorry, wolf, not. And there we go, we have all the Blackwort. Now we need to go back into Combe. Yep. We'll get this salve made and then I'll close the stream off. So my next 2 streams, health permitting, Saturday will be Smuggler Saturday, which I think will be continuing the class mission for Siani. That is at 2 PM BST. We're still in British summertime here, just about. And at 3 PM BST on Sunday, I think I'm going to do a Getting Lost Around Moria. So if anyone does feel like they want to join, then feel free. I will probably be taking this character, if not today, tomorrow, to the Fall Festival to get alternative horses and some extra gear. I am now going as fast as I can to Combe. But I do want to thank anyone who has popped in. Several people have popped in and lurked for a bit and popped off again. I appreciate any minutes you take out of your day to listen to me ramble. This has been a fairly chilled out stream. It's been quite nice to do as an evening one. Sundays in Moria will be slightly more intense, likely, anyway. Leecher Cartwell, where is this Leecher Cartwell? No, we can hand in this quest at the same time.
What can I do for
Whilst
you?
this doesn't help us get the box open and valuables returned, it does speak well of Rurik. I feel badly that he felt that we could not protect him, but what happens to Archet, I understand his hesitation. What happens in Archet stays in Archet. Let me think a moment on the name he gave us. Scouts are coming and going at all times. One may have mentioned seeing this Applewood
I'll
guy.
stay with you a moment.
So we're going to try and find the master key next time round. Thanks, Levi. Cool is not a name I was ever given at any point in my life, especially not at school. No, I was never in the cool gang. It's really neat that people do hang out, and it's really appreciated. And so even if it was just you here for the whole time, Levi, it would still be really appreciated and nice to know I'm not, shouting into the void. I don't know, there's been at least one other person who's just purposefully hung around. I've seen a few people pop in and out, so it's been a chilled session, which is fine, because the weekends can get a bit busier. Okay, let's hand in this quest, and then I will call it a night.
How can I be of service?
Ah, there you are. It will be just a moment, and I'll have the poison for you. Be careful with that. It'll not hurt you or I, or even the little folk, except perhaps to make us mildly ill. But the normal woodland creatures could suffer terribly if you don't use caution. You should return to Ellie and let her know that the poison is ready. So, we haven't quite finished that quest, so let's go see Ellie Cutleaf, which, if you remember, we were basically pretending to be a Blackwold in order to work out what the flip has happened to... Oh, hello, lag. What's happened to Amdir? Right, Ellie Cutleaf is in That direction. That away. Me and maps do not mix. Right. Apparently me and cliff edges do as well. Let's... Cool. Let's go catch up with Ellie, and then that should be us done. Because we've picked up other gear in the way, low-level gear looks frankly horrible. So that's why I've just kept the Beornings bog standard look here. I'll decide what colours this character likes later and acquire the relevant dyes. Thanks, Lieber. Time for Rest and Fall Festival once we've dealt with Ellie. Cool. And here she is. You have the poison from Cartwell? I trust Cartwell. Now that we have the poison, we'll be ready to strike at the Black Walls in their Chetwood home.
Would you do something for me?
And there you go. Next thing I will have to do, which will almost certainly be off stream, is just raid the brigands' camp, defeat their Jagged Jack guy, and poison the sources of food that the wolves have. So there we go. So from a Beorning point of view, we've managed to cover a few extra abilities. You got to manage your wrath as a Beorning. If you want to use your self-heal, you need to trigger that before going into bear form. That way it can self-heal you while you are a bear. That ability there is not active when you're in bear form. And the fact that you need to build up quite a bit of wrath, especially if you want to take on a group of mobs, but that makes you pretty resilient once you get that self-heal. So that's the first Let's Learn Beorning live, as well as getting into the story of Archet and Staddle and Combe. So I want to thank you people for coming. I need to go and let my wife change my daughter into her night clothes, and she's likely to kick off something chronic. So I will head off for today. I say Star Wars: The Old Republic on Saturday at 2 PM BST. More LOTRO, probably Moria, on Sunday from 3 PM BST. So from me, I'm at Fibro Jedi or at LOTRO Family, depending on how you want to engage. Thanks very much for coming, and take care, everybody. I really appreciate it.